Hello and welcome to Sunflower Philosophy Tarot. My name is Juliana, and today's Timeless Pick a Card reading is all about something that is hatching for you soon or right now. So, some kind of new start, something that's coming to fruition, something that's manifesting, whatever is coming up for you, that's what we're looking at today. Obviously, I've got some cute little eggs for you guys to choose from because it's around Easter time when I'm recording, and in fact, this might actually go up on Easter, so I just thought that would be cute and fun. And I will talk more about the group selection once we get to the group selection, but before we do that, I've got a couple of things to cover. First and foremost, very excited. I am doing a sale for the month of April and May 2026. So if you're watching around the time that this goes up, if you're watching in April or May of 2026, you can get a tarot reading for 30% off any kind of tarot reading that I offer. So I offer some written readings emailed, like I'll write up a reading and I'll email it to you. I offer live one-on-one guidance where we sit down together and do a whole session one-on-one. And I also offer a recorded reading where I record the reading and then I send it to you. So whatever most appeals to you, you can check out the options on our website, sunflowerphilosophy.com. The link will be in the description. And hopefully I'll be able to keep this offer open for the full 2 months. If things fill up really quickly, I'll let you guys know, but I'm hoping to fit in as many readings as I can. So if you are interested, if you have been maybe holding off on booking a reading for a while now, it might be your chance to do so. So yeah, I am just really excited to be offering that for my birthday. It's my 30th birthday, so 30% off. Thought that would be cute. And aside from that, I want to, as usual, get into a brief centering exercise. So for anyone who wants to stick around for a little meditation to center yourself before we go into the reading and get in touch with your higher guidance and all that, you can feel free to stick around. For anyone who wants to skip ahead, get to the group selection, whatever part of the reading you want to get to, you can feel free to use the timestamps in the description. But for those of you who are coming with me to the centering exercise, feel free to take a moment to get yourself comfortable, get yourself relaxed. If you want to, you can close your eyes, and let's get into it. So, for those of you who are joining me right now for this brief centering exercise, you can feel free to bring your attention to your breathing and set the intention for this centering exercise that you will connect with your intuition, with whatever your deeper knowing is, that you will allow yourself to receive whatever messages are truly meant for you in your highest good in this moment for this reading, and also just for the rest of the day. Set the intention that for the rest of the day you'll be connected on a higher level to yourself, to your intuition. Use this as a little bit of a reset. So just notice your breathing, and as you inhale, imagine that you're inhaling in whatever it is that you need in this moment, whether you consciously know of something that you want to bring in, like peace or love, or you don't really know what you need right now, but you just set the intention to inhale in whatever it is that you need. And then as you exhale, release anything that's ready to be released. And just let that go. Let that release as love, as something that you're giving back to the universe, returning to wherever it's meant to be. And as you inhale and exhale, just know that you're receiving exactly what it is that you need and releasing anything that is needing to be released. Excellent. And as you relax, as you receive and as you release, know that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Feel yourself connecting with the you that exists in every present moment, the present moment that's happening now, and now, and now, and now. And recognize that each moment brings with it the potential for something brand new, something never before experienced by you, maybe by anyone. Allow yourself to feel for a moment, connected to the infinite possibility of the moment. Allow this possibility to disconnect from past perceptions, from any future imaginings that you might have, and exist right now, knowing that anything is possible. Anything is possible, and you are free to connect with any and all beautiful possibilities. And you don't have to know what that looks like. You can allow yourself to exist in the unknown for a moment, feeling light, free, released from anything that might have felt constraining or anything that is not serving you from the past. Free in this moment. And just enjoy this sense of presence and freedom. Wherever you're at, whatever you're feeling, all of it is simply a passing moment. Allow yourself to enjoy whatever this moment has to offer. Allow yourself to enjoy the feeling of infinite possibility, of freedom. Whether you feel connected with that feeling right now, or it's more a concept in your mind. And know that you are loved, you are connected, you know deep down what is right for you, what is best for you, what is aligned. And you can take this knowing with you into the rest of your day, into the rest of this reading, into the rest of your life. And I thank you for being here today and always. If you would like to continue meditating for a little longer before you return to the reading, feel free to pause the video and come back whenever you're ready. But for those of you who are ready for the rest of your reading, you can hang around and we will get into the group selection in just a moment. Okay, thank you to those of you who joined me for the brief centering exercise. Thank you to those of you who did not. Either way, so happy to have you here in this reading. As I mentioned in the intro, we are looking into what is hatching for you soon, what is coming to be in your life very soon, whether it's a surprise or something that you've been hoping for a long time. What is new, what is fresh, what is emerging in your life. And we'll also look into some advice for how you can nurture that, how you can grow that, how you can prepare or continue to create a space in which this newness can grow, this new thing, this new whatever's coming in to grow, to flourish into something beautiful. So I have these 4 Easter eggs here for you to choose from, and each egg has some surprises inside that will contribute towards the reading. So a few little things in there that are going to help give us messages. So you can choose based on, obviously, whatever your intuition is telling you. Maybe the colors are drawing you, maybe the design, the pattern, maybe it has nothing to do with that. It's just a feeling, or the timestamps. Choose with whatever your intuition is telling you. And I will hold up the eggs so you can see them a little bit closer. We have group 1 with this blue and orange egg. We have group 2 with this purple and yellow egg. We have group 3 with this green and purple egg. And we have group 4 with this pink and yellow egg. So take all the time you need to pick your group. As always, you can pick more than one. You can pick all of them. You can pick one and then decide it's not your group and pick a different one. You can do whatever it is that you want to do, that you feel drawn to doing, and I will see you over in your reading. Hi, group 1. If you selected this blue and orange egg, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading all about what is hatching for you in your life right now or very soon. And we're just going to see what comes through in terms of how you can, both what it is that's coming into your life and also how you can nurture it, how you can help it flourish and grow, assuming it is something that you want to welcome in. So with that being said, the first thing I'm going to do is open your egg and see what's inside of it. Actually, no. First, I want to mention some things that came through with just like looking at your egg with this blue and orange. First of all, the very first thing that came through was the Mets, which is very specific, and it's very much because of my own bias, I'm sure, but I am a Mets fan. They're a New York baseball team. If you're not familiar with sports or baseball in general, the New York Mets could be significant for you, or a blue and orange team, like the New York Islanders, a hockey team, or literally any other team that's blue and orange that's important to you. Or this could just signify for you that the colors blue and orange are very important and relevant to you, whether it's a specific synchronicity for you or simply the colors themselves are lending you some kind of power in this time, this era of your life. Blue and orange to me definitely come through as the throat chakra and the sacral chakra, so creativity and communication. So for some of you, there could be messages here around a creative project that is flourishing or that you are looking to create, that you are being called to put out there to actually communicate, or creative ideas that you're looking to express, to even work with other people on. So that could be relevant to your reading, but take that as it resonates. Now let's get into what's inside your egg. So what we got, group 1? All right, so we have this little paper with something that you can do. So these little papers are things that I made for myself to help me on days when I can't decide what I need to do, but I feel like I need to do something for my own mental, emotional, spiritual health, right? So I figured it would be fun to put these in the eggs and see what you got. So your potential task that could be helpful to you right now, whether in general or in the case of like helping you bring in this new thing that is hatching in your life, is to make something for someone, which is very cute, a very feel-good thing. So make something for someone. Man, especially if you're creative, maybe making some art for someone who means a lot to you or is struggling right now, that could resonate, or something to donate to charity, or baking something, cooking something, making a card for someone. Just, it could be as high level or low level as you want it to be, but making something for someone right now could really just help your energy, especially if you feel like you need a little boost. Sometimes doing something for someone else can be that boost for you. It just can remind you that, you have purpose in this world, you can make an impact, and that you can make a positive impact on someone else's life with just a little bit of thoughtfulness. So that is something that you might want to consider doing right now. You might feel called to do right now. But we also have this little clothespin. It's like a tiny miniature clothespin. So this is making me think of like laundry, like hanging up laundry on a laundry line. So for some of you, doing laundry might be something that you need to do right now. I know that could be a message for me, honestly. Doing laundry, but also hanging something out to dry or hanging someone out to dry. I feel like that's not the most positive saying, but there could be a significance to that with you. Oh, I'm also thinking of literally hanging something out to dry, aside from laundry, but like a painting, or like when people hang up, in a dark room, they take photographs and they hang them up and clip them to like a string or whatever. Like, I don't know if they still do that. There's like, that's just, I'm getting the imagery specifically from Stranger Things season 1 when Jonathan is hanging up his photos in the dark room. So photography could be significant, painting or something that needs to dry, something that is created and then needs to dry is coming through. Again, maybe that's related to the making something for someone message. I am getting a lot of creative energy in this group, whether you literally are an artist or you are in the process of working on literally anything in your life. Like, everyone is creative in their own ways and in their own areas. So creativity, putting something up, maybe needing to give something time to set, give something time to... So this could also indicate stepping away from something, like hanging something up for the moment because it needs time to dry, metaphorically or literally, right? It needs time to dry, to set, to... you need time to take a step back, right? And then come back to it later. That could also be an important message for you. And the last thing we have in your little egg here is this... oh, I crushed your egg. Here. There we go. Is this little astrology dice with the different planets on it. So this is just like, I kind of like stuck my hand in a bowl and like pulled out whatever came out. So this came out. And so let's roll the dice and also see what planets may be important for you and what symbolism there is to share with you, what messages we get from this dice. So let's roll it. Okay, we have Pluto. Ooh, yeah, so transformation, change. Pluto can be very intense, very powerful, and it can also be linked to wealth, but not just like personal wealth, like the broader concept of wealth, generational wealth. So that could be, if you're like working on some investments right now, there could be something coming to fruition with that. But transformation, I feel like, is the biggest thing here. And, you know, we are doing like an egg theme where something's hatching, right? So it feels like for you, there is, you in particular, you could be a group where you are actually, there's something that you've been working on that is coming to fruition or transforming in some kind of way, and or demanding a transformation of you. Interesting. But Pluto as well, if you want to look into your Pluto placements, obviously those are more generational. So, like, off the top of my head, is my generations like Pluto in Aquarius or Sagittarius? I'm actually not sure, but like Pluto placements could be important, or where Pluto is at astrologically, it could be important. If you're an astrology girly, you know, definitely maybe leave some comments for the other group 1 people in this reading who might be intrigued by what Pluto's doing right now, because I'm actually not up on that in this moment. But yeah, also Pluto, the dog from Disney, like Mickey's dog, Pluto, just flashed into my mind. But specifically this one plushie I used to have when I was a kid. I got it when I was in Disney as a child. And I'd forgotten about it for the longest time. So the fact that came up, that could be significant for some people. Maybe that's just a sign or a symbol, or dogs in general could be important. But Pluto the dog also came through. And specifically that plushie. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe Disney's important as well. Disney could be significant. Interesting. All right, so with all that being said, let's get into your cards. So we've got these bird oracle cards and we've got these tarot cards, and then we'll get a quote card to close out. But let's start with your bird cards. So first we're going to ask, for group 1, what is hatching for group 1 right now? What is hatching for group 1 right now? What is hatching in their life? What is hatching very soon? What is happening? Ooh. Okay. We'll take that. So we have chickadee. Discover and express the truth. That makes sense with the sacral chakra that I was getting earlier. The throat chakra expression. Well, I guess the sacral chakra, not necessarily. It's more like creativity, right? But I think when I think of that, I think of creative expression, and I think how, in many ways, art is concerned with the idea of the truth, right? It's concerned with how with expressing truths that are maybe more easily expressed through mediums other than language as well. Discover and express the truth. So some kind of truth is hatching for you, is important for you. And I feel like it does have to do with a truth that you're expressing. Let's see. Group 1. Let's get more information. What is hatching for group 1 right now? Or soon? What is hatching for group 1? Ooh. Aha. Yes. Okay. There's a decision. There's a decision that's being made, and it could be based on a truth that you learn or is uncovered for you at this time, or a truth that you finally admit to yourself, discover within yourself, or find the strength to express that allows you to move in a certain direction, to actually actively make a choice. So if there's anything that you've been hesitating on, unsure about, maybe you've been afraid to express because you haven't been sure how other people will respond. Maybe you've been afraid to let other people down, or you feel like, for some of you, you've been actually unsure of what you actually want because you're too preoccupied or distracted by what other people want. So for some of you, what's actually hatching here is a recognition of what you truly want, what is true for you, what is right for you, that you are coming to and learning how to embody in your everyday life in a way that you haven't before. Because it feels like you're moving from a place, like this might be the transformation that you're actually going through. You're moving from a place where you were at default, you were maybe defaulting to what you think other people want in situations, right? And it's not necessarily that other people were asking you to do this. It's more like it could have been a habit, right? And maybe even a subconscious one. Maybe you weren't even aware for the longest time that you were doing this because it was something that just was so natural to you, where you were just automatically making decisions based on, in the moment, oh, well, this person will want to do this, so I'll go along with that. Oh, this person will want to do this, so I'll do that. Without actually taking a moment to step back and think, what do I really want? Like, check in with yourself. So what's hatching for you is a new sense of self-awareness around your truth in a given moment versus someone else's. Not in a way where you're necessarily, individually in certain circumstances, for some of you, maybe there would be conflict. Maybe it's easier said than done in certain cases. But it doesn't feel like it's necessarily this dramatic revelation that causes a lot of conflict. It may be dramatic to you in the sense that, like, certain beliefs that you had to go along with other people, or certain beliefs that you knew yourself when you actually have now uncovered a new layer that you didn't know before or you weren't accessing before. Like, that could be a dramatic revelation for you in some ways. But we do have Pluto here, which is a slower moving planet. So it feels like a transformation that's been taking place for a while that is now coming to fruition, where you're reaching a new level of confidence in yourself and self-knowledge that it has been coming to you for a long time, I feel. And with the message actually that you got, make something for someone, it's funny because I feel like this message is about you really connecting with your sense of truth and what you want. But in that process of making something for someone else, there's almost this message of even if you're making something for someone else, make sure it's coming from your heart, what you truly want to do and make and give. And that can be connected with what someone else wants and what you know them and how well you know them. But make sure that it's also coming from your own heart, that you are connecting what you want with what someone else wants or what you believe they want, and not doing something just out of a space of, well, this person wants this, I don't really want to do that. But that's like, find a way to create from a space where you're creating what you want at the same time as you're creating what they want, if that makes sense. Where you're really aware of where you're coming from. Okay, we just got another card that popped out. The Chariot, yeah. So this is you being on your path. being in charge of your own path, being in charge of your direction. I'm getting a message here for some of you, if you've got like mentor figures, parental figures who are really prominent in your life, who might have certain ideas, aspirations, hopes, and dreams for you, this could be a time when you are finally having the conversation of, hey, this is what I want to do, and you're taking the reins, right? You're taking charge. Whether this is coming as a result of a natural progression in your life where you've reached a milestone and you're moving into a space where you're making decisions for yourself naturally, or you are having to, and I think this is more likely for a lot of people, you are having to actively say, no, I don't want this, I want that, right? That's not the path for me, this is the path for me. Where you might, again, have been defaulting to other people's desires for a while, and it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be a situation where people were forcing you, but it could be a situation where you just felt like you were just going to go along with things because it was easier, or because you just felt like there could be conflict if you wanted something different, or you just never thought to ask yourself. Whatever the case may be, you are definitely moving into a new space of autonomy and truth. And so along with that, it does feel like a new pathway is hatching for you. And it doesn't have to be a brand new one in the sense that it doesn't have to be one that you've not been on already or haven't been considering for a while, but it feels like you are like recommitting or fully committing to a new pathway, to a certain pathway that you may not have been fully committed to before. So let's get some more information. Oh, the world. Yeah. So if something is ending. So because there is a decision being made here that you're going to follow your truth, your authenticity, what you really want, there is a cycle that's closing. The cycle that's closing is any self-betrayal might be a strong word for some of you, but any even subtle tendency to default to others' desires, others' needs, others' wants in lieu of your own, that cycle is ending. And the cycle that's beginning is a cycle of authenticity, true expression, you being much more honest and open and clear with yourself and others about where it is you're going, what it is that you want. And you don't have to always know that. There's also this important message about not necessarily needing to know exactly where you're going, exactly what your next steps are always, but being much more connected with the truth in the moment. In the moment, you are much more connected with what you're really feeling, and you're also able to, when you're not clear on it, able to take a step back and not make any immediate or snap decisions if you're not feeling in the moment clear on what actually is the right path for you, the right choice for you, whatever decision that you're even making. It could come down to even the smallest decisions in your life, right? So for some of you, this could be there's definitely an element here of someone making a big life decision in terms of, I'm deciding I'm going off in this direction instead of that one, right? So there's also a closing down of a cycle in terms of, I'm choosing a new path, I'm choosing differently, I'm shutting down one option in favor of another, right? There's a decision being made. But then there's also, so for some of you, again, it could be like, I choose this job instead of that one. I choose to, date this person instead of that one. I choose to, any bigger life decision that you could think of that is obviously relevant to you could be what this is about. But you'll know, like, if that's the case, like, you'll know exactly what this is about. But for some of you, it's more subtle in the sense that it's not just, and maybe it's both for some of you. It's not just those big life decisions. It's like in the moment, day-to-day decision making. It's like you're being much more clear about what it is that you want and true to yourself in your decision making, even when it comes down to something as small as like, what am I going to eat for lunch right now? Which actually could be a quite big decision if you think about it, when you consider how significant it is to decide what you're putting into your body, what's fueling you, but also what it is that tastes good and feels good to you, right? You're feeling much more connected with your moment-to-moment truth, which doesn't have to be consistent and necessarily make sense to anyone else. And that's the most important thing here, is that you may have wanted to make decisions in the past from this idea that they have to make sense to other people in general or in your life, or even make sense to your mind right now. But I feel like you are really stepping into an era where you are making decisions with your body, making decisions with your intuition, your instincts, that don't always have to make logical sense to the people in your life, and sometimes even to you. You're just really connecting with yourself more. And so I'm going to get a couple more cards to find out how we can nurture this new era in your life right now, this transformation that you're going through. So how can we nurture this? Three of Swords. So anything that you are afraid to look at, anything that you are avoiding because it's like a pain, so some of you might be avoiding the whole concept of truth because you're afraid of it being painful, right? Some of you might have this association with the concept of truth as something that's inherently painful. And it might be subconscious. So that might be if you are someone who has struggled to be honest with yourself and with other people, or struggled with honesty at any time as a concept. There may be something here to the subconscious belief that truth is always painful. Truth is not inherently always painful. Truth is just truth. Truth is always what it is. And sometimes truth, for what we believe in, what we feel is true, changes on a case-by-case basis. Obviously, there's also this concept of like, what is actual, like, absolute truth and reality? I'm not sure that all of us really understand or fully know what that is. And it's not something that necessarily can be categorized or understood or expressed through words. So we're talking about smaller truths right now, personal truths, right? So when you are feeling any fear around honesty, around self-honesty or honesty with others, it's because you're feeling this fear of pain, of causing pain, of feeling pain. So you are at a place where you're ready now to face the reality of that experience of pain head on, and understand that on the other side of potential momentary pain, right, this fear of causing disappointment in someone or being disappointed yourself, right, there is freedom. Once you are no longer afraid of that, but in order to prove to yourself, to your ego, that it's safe to live in truth, you do have to take that step, right? Show that courage is worth it. Show that on the other side of even ripping off the smallest of band-aids, you are still alive, right? So if, for example, you're someone who is afraid of being honest with someone about the fact that you want to, I don't know, maybe you're planning a vacation and they really want to go to this one attraction or thing on this day, and you really don't want to do that. And it would make you miserable. And maybe it's something that you're actually, like, deep down inside, you have, maybe there's another thing that you want to do, and it's you can only do it at that time. You can't compromise. It's not really a situation where you'd like to, but you're afraid to bring that up because you're afraid that there could be conflict. What if this person's really disappointed? What if this person's really mad at me? What if, I regret that later? It's like, if that's what you really want to do, and you know in your heart, like, that's really what you prefer, or even just in your body, that's what you really prefer, just say it. And you could be honest in the sense that if, truth, there's something about honesty here that where if you're afraid of honesty, and because it might hurt you and it might hurt someone else, right? In the sense that if you're honest in that situation, right? If someone gets mad at you, then it's like, oh no, I disappointed them, and also I have to deal with the conflict and everything. Like, that's pain that you might feel yourself. But then also the idea that someone else is disappointed or upset about your truth, right? That also feels scary. There's, the pain that you're causing someone else, the pain that you're feeling yourself, right? If that's the fear that you're experiencing over being honest in any situation, then wow, I just the thread that I was following just completely vanished. Wow, okay. I was going somewhere with that. There was the message, if it's important, it'll come back. We'll conclude it. But essentially, essentially what I'm getting at is that if you're just brave enough in that moment to just be like, hey, here's what I was getting at. Okay. So you might feel like either you're honest with someone in that situation and you hurt them, or you lie and you save their feelings. But that doesn't have to be the either or. You can be honest with that person and they're like, oh yeah, totally, that's totally fine. Like, don't worry about it. Or you can be honest with that person and they might be hesitant at first, but then they're like, wait, you know what? Actually, what you want to do, I kind of want to do that too. I didn't even think of that option. Let me see. Maybe I actually want to do that instead. Or they'll be like, you know what? Like, I'm kind of disappointed. I really wanted you to come along, but you got to do what you want to do. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. And then if they're not like that, if they're disrespectful, or if they're really genuinely upset because it's something that's important to them, then there's an opportunity to either set a boundary or have a deeper conversation where even if there's a little bit of conflict first, at the end of the day, you have that opportunity to get to know someone on a deeper level, to really have that conversation, to tease out the feelings, to be like, hey, like, talk to me. Like, why does this mean so much to you? Why does it mean so much for me to be there? Or you can express to them why it means so much for you to choose the other option, to do the other thing that you want to do. And you have that opportunity to open that avenue to a deeper relationship, right? Where you understand yourself and another person on a deeper level and vice versa. And also, of course, there's always the possibility that you discover that there's a boundary you need to set with someone who's not willing to meet you where you're at that moment, who's not willing to have those conversations. And that could be a valuable experience for both you and them, right? And so honesty is an opportunity and it's either going to show your ego, right? That it's well, in all cases, you have the opportunity to show your ego that it's safe to express your truth, even if there's some conflict, or that there might not be conflict, even if you're expecting there to be, right? And you've got to, rip off that Band-Aid, break that ice, show yourself that honesty in these situations, even when it feels scary, especially in the smaller ones where you can maybe build up to sharing bigger truths and things like that, or expressing yourself more truly in other ways, that builds up the experience for your mind, for your body, that, hey, truth is safe, actually. And that's what we're learning here. We're learning that truth is safe, and that any indecision that you've been experiencing in your life may be coming from the subconscious fear of truth, whether it's situational or a general fear of honesty that comes from societal conditioning, maybe familial conditioning, maybe a significant experience in your past. It's kind of either where it came from, or it doesn't really matter. What matters is knowing and understanding that there is another option, there's another way to go about it, and that there is value on the other side of that. And the reason that you're here, you're listening to this message, is because this is where you're going, this is how you're transforming, and this is also what is required of you in order to facilitate the things that you are creating in your life, the life that you want to create for yourself. So working on your relationship with truth and with fear of disappointment and heartbreak, whether other people's or yours, even on the smallest level, that building up your ability to handle those emotions, to handle those experiences that might feel rocky at first, man, the more you practice it, the more you take those little courageous steps every day, it's gonna be so much easier to navigate the world and move through it when you feel confident in speaking your truth and being honest. And also learn how to deliver truth and honesty in a way that is more is kind to people, right? Because the discomfort with truth and honesty, whether we're being honest about something with ourselves or with other people, can come from this idea that like honesty is always cruel, the truth is always cruel. It's not. You can deliver truths in ways that are sensitive and empathetic and take into account someone else's feelings, but are still honest. Sometimes it does take a little bit of time to find the right words or the right way or the right context. And you're at liberty to also take the time to do that. If you find that it's not the right time, you don't have to blurt out truths and be super blunt all the time either. There's a kindness that you can learn and integrate into your truth telling, both with yourself and with others. And that's also a process as well. And you can allow yourself to maybe not always hit the mark that you want to hit, you know? But acknowledge that it's something that you can practice, that you can grow. And I feel like a lot of you have already been on this path and already been growing in this area. And that's why this new era of decisiveness and making a choice and being honest is hatching for you, because you've already been practicing that, whether consciously or unconsciously. And others of you are more like you're getting to the place where you're ready to level that up a little bit more, to be more conscious and aware. Either way, though, this is something that is really setting you free. And for those of you who do have specific hopes and dreams, I feel like this is tied to those, whether directly in terms of like there's something that you're doing that requires your confidence and truth and your ability to like really sit with your truth and express it and know it, or it's somehow tangentially going to help your dream come true. And and the specific example that's coming through is like, if you want a really healthy and loving relationship, part of that is honesty, communication, kindness, empathy, truth, being able to deliver that in a sensitive and informed way, being able to receive that, and refining how you communicate that, and how you even understand truth in yourself and others, being able to ask questions that you've never asked before of yourself and other people. So if that's something that you're looking to bring into your life, that is how this kind of message is related to that, and it's going to help you in that area. But that can take shape in many different ways as well. It doesn't have to be a relationship. That being said, I do want to get, I don't know why I'm like shuffling it again, but I guess it needed to be. I'm going to get another tarot card with any further messages about how to nurture, or nourish is the word that came through, this new chapter, this transformation. Temperance, yes. I feel like that just goes along with the message I just said about kindness and empathy when you're being honest with both yourself and others. Temperance, tempering your message with patience, fairness, and moderation, right? And this doesn't just go for when you're being honest with other people. It goes for when you're being honest with yourself as well. Because again, honesty has this, and truth have this reputation because the things that we're dishonest about are most often things that we're uncomfortable with, that other people might be uncomfortable with, that elicit emotions that we're uncomfortable with. But again, there are ways that you can, like, it's not all about just bluntness and cruelty. Like, honesty is not inherently cruel. Truth is not inherently cruel. And temperance, moderation, being able to moderate your words, being able to temper your words, being able to use your words wisely, kindly, with compassion is part of this, and is likely going to help you in many areas of your life, not just any specific ones that you're looking to grow, but in all relationships, in all pursuits, business or otherwise, in creativity, in your creative expression. Your relationship with truth here is shifting, it's changing, it's evolving, and that's what's happening. I almost feel like I saw an imagery of like the word truth emerging from an egg, right? It's like, and I can't even tell you exactly what that is, because that's something that like you find for yourself, you discover for yourself, it emerges for you. Okay, so with that being said, the last couple things I want to do is one, I want to just actually read from the book for the Chickadee card. And then I want to get a quote card for you. One of my quote cards that I've made myself. You've probably seen them before if you've been on this channel before. Let's see. What does Chickadee have to say? Discover and express the truth. The chickadee is a member of the titmouse family of birds, a group name applying to a variety of small, dull-colored birds. This lively bird and its song is one of the traditional heralds of spring, whose appearance now is a sign that truths are being uncovered. Well, that's funny because I'm also recording this around spring, so chances are some of you are watching this around spring, but also spring, it's about new things hatching, being uncovered, emerging, so it makes sense. The black cap of the chickadee reminds us that we must keep our thinking straight. When Chickadee appears, we can expect greater understanding, truth, and perspective about the shadows we have been experiencing. Our dreams, meditations, and prayers will elicit a greater insight and confidence in the changes that are coming. Lies and deceptions will be found out, so be truthful in all things right now, but be kind in your truth-telling. Those around you might say the truth hurts, but you must work to accept and express the truth in spite of this. For such a small bird, it is also fearless, with no qualms about taking on larger birds that may threaten it. This should remind us that any threats or shadows will pass. Show no fear, truth will out. Yeah, basically what I said. Basically what I said in this reading. So yeah, truth is hatching for you. And man, some of you might feel a little bit scared about that, but I also feel like there's a lot of relief in that. And it feels like this is going to take shape in so many different ways for all the people watching this. So it's like I can't even get into specifics here around how that will show up for you. But man, I do feel like it's freeing. There's confidence here. When you know that you're in your truth, you're speaking from truth, you're feeling truth, like there's so much confidence in that because you just know, like there's no second guessing. You can't, there's no doubt that can come in and interfere with that. And so this is just, it's great. Let me just close out with some quote cards then. So what is a closing message for group 1 for this reading? That's too many, but we'll take them. I'm not going to get from the second pile for you because it feels like these are your messages. This is more than enough for what we need to close out. So we have this card here first. We have, she was more beautiful than he remembered. No, that wasn't true. It wasn't that she had changed or that his vision had sharpened. He was just less afraid of her beauty now. Wow, from Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. Yeah, which I feel like is you in your relationship with truth, with your true self. You're feeling like, wow, all the shadows I was afraid of, the me that I was afraid of, like, accepting and expressing is so much more beautiful than I remember because I'm not afraid of it anymore. And this can also extend to how you perceive the world, how you perceive other people. You're less afraid of truth now. So you find so many things more beautiful. You see the beauty in more things. You see the truth in more things. You're willing to see it and accept it. And your vision of what the truth is and what it means is transforming in such a way that you're accessing it more. You're accessing the beauty more in more things in yourself. And I'm feeling for a lot of you, this really is also, it's a lot about your self-recognition, about how you're seeing yourself as well. The self-honesty, also with these butterflies on this card here, emerging, like I feel like your Pluto, transformation, emergence, right? Emergence by Sleep Token is a song that could resonate with you. But you're emerging from your cocoon, the truth is emerging. There's so much that's like being revealed, but it's like, it's beautiful and it's really cool to see. Yeah, and I feel like some of you are going to be surprised at how free you feel, how much more beautiful the truth is than you thought, how much more beautiful the concept of truth is than you thought it could be. Yeah. We have, even the smallest person can change the course of the future, from The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. Yes, even the smallest action, even the smallest decision, even the smallest intention towards truth can change the course of the future. Like, if you take a moment in a situation to step back and instead of reacting from a place that you normally would, that may not be the most positive or honest place, if you take a step back, take a moment, allow yourself to settle and connect with your truth and the true words that want to come through, the most honest version of what you can communicate, that can change a whole interaction. It can change a whole cycle. It can, instead of having the same conversations over and over again, instead of having the same experiences over and over again, that can shift so much in just one little moment. And I feel like that's what's happening for you. And then we have this card here, which is, that was what magic did. It revealed the heart of who you'd been before life took away your belief in the possible. It gave back the world all lonely children longed for. From Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. So Ninth House and Hellbent, both in the same series. Maybe those are books that resonate with you, or characters that would resonate with you, stories that would resonate with you. But there is a lot in that about like uncovering your personal, like you uncover people's backstories and the things that they've hid from and run from, especially in Hellbent in the second book. And so there's an element of deceit versus honesty in there that is significant. And I feel like this relationship with truth, with honesty that you are shifting into is, like I said, bringing out the magic in the world, bringing out the beauty in the world in a way that you didn't maybe believe in before or understand before. And especially in yourself, your belief in yourself, your belief in your own power, and how you see yourself, how capable you see yourself, how capable you see yourself to be. Let's say it that way. Wow, really powerful, really incredible. And for some of you, this could be almost a disappointing message in the sense that maybe you were hoping for, expecting something a little more tangible and specific or related to a specific situation where for some of you this could be, but for others it's not, or telling you which way to go or what's real or what's true. But I almost feel like this is, you will understand with time how much bigger this is and more important this is than any specific situation. Because this transforms everything, not just like one thing in your life. This transforms everything. It transforms your whole relationship with life. And again, I do feel like for a lot of you, like, you have been on this journey. You're ready to accept this. You're ready to move into this. Or you are opening up to this revelation of, like, I need to get in touch with me. This relationship with honesty. Honesty is hatching in your life. Truth is hatching in your life. Not just within you, but it will also reveal truths around you that may have been hidden before and are now being uncovered. And for some of you, I just heard, like, some things that you have known to be true also being revealed to others in your life or people in the larger collective. Like, that's also emerging, potentially, where it's like things that you have known and been aware of are now reaching the masses, reaching more people, and you're able to express and talk about it more and find more understanding and acknowledgement than before. So there's that as well. Wow. I really did enjoy this energy group one, so I hope you enjoyed this message as well. And we're going to close it there, but thank you so much for watching. As I said in the beginning, if you're watching this in April or May of 2026 and you want a personal reading, they are 30% off for these 2 months in 2026, April and May. So definitely check the link out below, Sunflower Philosophy Tarot, or sunflowerphilosophy.com, to check out those offerings. And at all times of year, anytime, also we do offer tarot readings and hypnosis services. So if you want to check those out on our site as well, you can feel free to do so. My mom and I work together, that's why I'm saying we. So you can learn more about what we do there. I'll link our podcast as well if you want to hear us talk about some other things. Yeah, thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye! Hi, Group 2. If you selected the purple and yellow egg, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading all about what is hatching for you right now or very soon. So something that's manifesting, that's emerging, that is coming to fruition. We're going to see what that is for you. And I'm going to start by taking a look at what's in your egg and getting some messages from that before we move into some tarot and some bird oracle cards to get more information. So we're also going to look at also like how you can nurture and create an environment for whatever it is that is hatching to flourish. That's what we're also going to find out. So let us open your egg. So first things first, actually, I felt a real sense of excitement, and not that I'm not excited with like all the groups, and it's all exciting things really that are hatching, right? But there's this very tangible sense of excitement I felt looking at this egg. And so it feels like whatever this is, you're either already excited about it or you will be very excited about it. So let's see what's inside the egg. All right, so we have a sunflower sticker, a shell that I picked up in Ireland. Ireland may be significant for some of you, whether you are going there, have visited there, are Irish, or have some other connection to the country. And I'm getting a message with the shell as well, coming out of your shell. I'm getting Mr. Brightside actually coming out of my cage, and I've been doing just fine, right? From that song. So either that song could be significant, or the message of you emerging, coming out of your shell, coming out of your cage, coming out of an era of isolation, a hermit period of your life. There's, yeah. And it could be whatever it is that you are, that is hatching for you right now. It's also like, coming out of this shell of this egg, like something's actually coming out and emerging, like just reinforcing that message. But it feels like you are coming out of your shell in some way. Blooming with the sunflower here. Sunflowers for me, obviously Sunflower Philosophy Tarot, they're a significant flower to me, but also in general, that excitement and joy that feels like that's symbolized by this sunflower, right? There's this optimism, there's this faith is the word that actually came through just now. There's this belief, there's this sunny disposition, right? There's a lot of excitement, optimism, and joy in this group, whether that is something that you are embodying or is coming about in your life in this time, this era, I just wanted to say. I also just got Taylor Swift, like Eras tour, so if she's significant as well, that could be something for you. And the color yellow, obviously, significant here. Confidence, the solar plexus chakra, that's your willpower, your confidence, your sense of self-worth. Yeah, I feel like that is either what's blossoming and blooming for you, hatching for you, or part of this new adventure. And then we also have this little paper, which is one that I picked out of a group of papers I made for myself once when I was just making like a little jar for like self-care jar for myself, like where if I didn't know what I needed or wanted in a moment, I could pick out something from the jar and see if it resonated with me, like a little self-care task. So I got that for you as well. So let's see what yours is. We have drink some tea. Pretty simple and straightforward. Drink some tea. Whatever, you might have some teas that you like that are medicinal for you, like some herbal teas. Ginger tea is one of my favorite. Chamomile, raspberry leaf, but it could also be any drink of your choice, if you're choosing that you really enjoy, brings joy to your life, or makes you feel good. So get a special drink for yourself, maybe, or make a special drink for yourself. Let's see, anything else coming from those? The beach as well, with the shell. Being by water, being near water, that could be significant for you as well. But with those messages being said, whether they resonate or not, this may still be your group. But like I said, there's some messages here about joy, about confidence, coming out of your cage, coming out of your shell. Those are all feeling really significant for you right now. So we're gonna dig more into it. We're gonna get a bird card and some tarot cards, and we're going to find out more about what's hatching for you and how you can nourish it, nurture it, flourish it, whatever you want to say. So for group 2, excuse me, for group 2, what is hatching for group 2? What is hatching for group 2? We have Penguin, trust in your dreams. Okay, so some dreams are hatching for you. I'm not going to take this card, but we do have Eagle on the bottom, which caught my eye, and that says the spirit vision and healing surround you. So if you have any specific things that you're healing right now, or spirits that you connect with, you can take that as a confirmation that they are with you, that the healing is taking place, that whatever is needing to be healed it's happening for you. So let's get more information from the tarot. Trust in your dreams. So a dream of yours, first of all, is hatching. So either a new dream is coming to your field of vision, is the wording that came to me, but like you're getting a new vision for what you want, what you're dreaming, or it could be that a dream that you've had for a long time is realizing itself. So let's get more information. So what is hatching right now for group 2? Ooh, okay, we have the sun in reverse. Yeah, so we're just talking about joy. This feels like inner joy. This feels like not just something is happening. That the reason this came out in reverse is signifying to me that it's not just something is happening that is making you really happy. It is that you are uncovering, recovering, or entering into a new level of happiness and joy in your life in this chapter that is more unconditional than anything. It's not necessarily triggered by or linked to a specific event, although there may be many specific things that do happen that increase the joy or contribute to the joy or that you take joy in. But this joy is something that's actually being generated from within. This feels like my group that could have been doing a lot of self-work for a long time, that may have been going through a cycle of manifesting where you're looking into methods that are more focused on your self-concept, right? More than what it is that you're creating. Like, you're focusing on the energy that you're in, the energy that you're creating from, and the experience that you're having, and remaining open to the possibilities of what will come through that energy. And you are, and for some of you possibly as well, even if you're not thinking of it in terms of manifestation, you're thinking of it in terms of like maybe mental health, your just own personal sense of joy and happiness, however you conceptualize that, and whatever journey that you've been on, where you may have experienced some times of darkness or some times of disappointment, I just heard, or times of difficulty with your emotions, your mood, accepting your emotional range. It feels like you've been doing actual work on that, and that has been solidifying in you this connection with this sense of joy. Like you've refined your connection with your emotions, with your energy, and it's generating from within. It's similar to a message I got recently in, I don't know if it was the last reading I did, where there was something about like generating this joy and happiness from within that is like, it's like something that you cultivate and exude from yourself, rather than it's like, oh yes, because it was like, what are we releasing and what are we inviting in? It was like releasing overthinking and like survival mode and trying to get into other people's heads and trying and like overthinking like situations and stuff. And it was more being in your own energy, being present and radiating like joy, love, whatever it is that you want to radiate. And so this, I mean, that could be a significant group for you. Maybe you watch that reading, or maybe that reading has messages for you. But also, I feel like that there's a similar principle at work here, where it's like your energy within yourself is being cultivated to this place where like you're generating your happiness from within. It's not relying on the external, but the external is also shifting to match that. And for some of you, I just heard that like you've been in this state for a while, or you've been working on this for a while, and now it's like the external is catching up. And so you're seeing you're not only feeling that within yourself, you're seeing the evidence of that out and about around you. Again, with this dreams coming to fruition, it's possible that you have some specific dreams and goals that you've wanted to come to fruition, but you've also known that you've had to focus on, or you've been more focused on your personal happiness without relying on a certain dream or goal being realized to define that for you. And then through focusing on that personal happiness, confidence, joy, it is in turn like helping you realize your dreams, helping those come to fruition. So let's get another card to answer the question, what is hatching for group 2? Although I feel like we've done that pretty well so far. What is hatching for group 2? What is hatching for group 2? We have the Page of Pentacles. Yes, so it does feel like what I just said is being confirmed here. The dreams, the goals, the things that you've wanted to create for yourself, while you are not reliant on those things for your happiness, they are starting to manifest in your reality. You're starting to see tangible results from the efforts that you've been putting in. That is not just linked to the physical work that you've put towards something, but it's towards the emotional and energetic work that you've put into yourself. However you think of that, the self-work that you've done, the relationship that you have with yourself, with the universe, with what it is that you want, with your emotions, with your own energy, and how you manage to cultivate that and take care of that, that is now also showing in your reality. And I feel like with the Page of Pentacles here, it's showing, but it's not like what's hatching is just the beginning, right? It's just the beginning. It's showing in more tangible ways, in really fun ways, in really and maybe for you it feels like in very big ways, but it's almost like it might feel big to you, but it's not that big yet. Like it's just the beginning, right? It's just the beginning, and it's going to grow even more. It's like you see the first shoots of the tree come up, or the tree itself is now it's a sapling now, or you're seeing the first apple bloom, or apple come about, but like there's more to there's more where that came from. There's more to come. There's more headed your way. This is just the beginning. There's also a level of curiosity, of serendipity that is coming about in your life. You're going to be, if you're not already, experiencing more serendipity, more spontaneity is actually the word that I almost just said, like where like, but it's not just like you being spontaneous. You might have like spontaneous inspirations to like, oh, you know what, I feel like going here today or doing this, and that will lead to an opportunity. But other times it's more like other people being spontaneous with you, or things spontaneously coming into your life, or all of a sudden like something seems to spontaneously take off when it maybe has been stagnant for a while. But it's like it's been building up for a while. It just seems random, but it's not really. That's the feeling I'm getting with this Page of Pentacles here. So it doesn't feel like there's just one thing that's hatching for you. It's like a bunch of little things that are growing into bigger things, but it's generating from your own like connection with your inner joy, happiness, your energy, and how you cultivate that, and the how cognizant and conscious you are of that will vary from person to person. Because I feel like some of you have been very intentionally cultivating this energy on this path, maybe for a while. And then others of you, it's like you don't necessarily think of it in those terms, but that's kind of what you've been doing. If you've been focused on your personal sense of happiness, on unconditional happiness, on cultivating energy outside of just making something happen in your life that's going to make you happy, if you've been detaching yourself from anything that you felt codependent with, or where you've anywhere you felt like your happiness is dependent on another person, on something outside of yourself, if you've been conscious of that, if you've been moving away from that conditional way of existing with the universe, it feels like that's helping you generate this sense of well-being within yourself that is then radiating out into your reality and shifting things around for you. But like, again, like this is not reliant on what is physically tangibly happening for you. It's just that it's creating the roadways, the opportunities for things to physically tangibly come to fruition, and in all different kinds of ways. And it feels like multiple things in multiple areas of your life. Some things that you've been expecting, hoping for, working towards, and some things that you might be more surprised by, honestly. So with that being said, I want to continue to get some more cards and ask how Group 2, you can nourish or nurture this sense of well-being, joy, happiness, this energy that you're in. We have the Moon in reverse and the Hermit in reverse. So we have the Sun in reverse and the Moon in reverse. And the Hermit in reverse. So the Moon in reverse really speaks to, I'm feeling like your subconscious. It's like being very aware of the relationship that your subconscious beliefs have with your life and with how you perceive the world around you. And it feels like for a lot of you, if you've already been doing the conscious inner work, like reprogramming your subconscious mind, I'm a hypnotist, so I think of that very literally in terms of like working with myself or others through hypnosis, literally reprogramming the subconscious mind, and literally like getting in there and putting in like suggestions and things like that. But if you've been working with affirmations, working to shift your life by taking new action, new steps, by redefining certain beliefs, even consciously, there's a certain level at which that's changing your subconscious. There's so many, like, anytime that you shift a belief system in any way, like, you're changing something within your subconscious mind, right? So it feels like keep doing that inner work, essentially, because with the Hermit here, like, that's you looking within, like, it's really, really internal, like the Hermit already was. And it feels like you are not, because we had that message about like coming out of your cage, you're coming out of your shell. You're not required to go into hermit mode anymore in order to shift this. You're not required to hide yourself away. You're not required to do anything, by the way. That's an important thing. It's not that there's no suggestion of you going within to the point where you're like hiding yourself away. Like, you're meant to be out and about and experiencing life and sharing your energy and bringing your energy to others and trusting in your own sense of self in more situations. Like, again, like, I feel like you've been doing the inner work, you've been in the hermit mode, you've been really focused on yourself. This is like continuing that work, but in a way where you're balancing it with also like engaging with life. Being this Page of Pentacles, literally like engaging with the physical, tangible world, taking steps out in the world to interact with people, to realize your dreams, to do things, to live life, to take action in the physical realm, while you maintain a practice that helps you continue to align with the beliefs that you want to bring in, the feelings that you want to experience. It's like, what you're doing already. So keep doing it. And then also like trust that you can go out in the world and live your life and focus more externally at the same time, right? And I want to get another card. Is there anything else Root 2 can do? We got 2. We got 3 wands and the 9 of cups. Is it reversed or upright? Yeah, that's reversed. We'll go. So 3 of wands and 9 of cups reversed. Yeah, there's so much. So this group is really, like, you are really understanding the importance of your inner state and how that impacts your external reality. You are really, we have the Queen of Wands on the bottom, so like confidence again. Like, there's this confidence in your own energy that is coming into fruition for you, where you can go out and about in the world, you can have expectations, you can have desires, and you could speak them and send them out and still remain satisfied in your present moment. So it's very much like the Abraham Hicks saying of like being satisfied with what you have and eager for more. Being satisfied with where you're at and eager for more. That's where we're at. And so what it feels like this is saying is continue to put things out there into the universe. Speak or act on what you want, what excites you, what's interesting to you. Continue to put your desires out there and remain satisfied and recognize when you're doing that from a place of satisfaction, of being really satisfied with where you are and eager for more, as opposed to being desperate, like your ego, coming from a place of ego where your ego is like, I need to satisfy some kind of insecurity, or I need to satisfy like some deeply held belief. It's like you know well enough to recognize when you're in that energy, and you know that it's not the energy that you want to create from. And so you're being encouraged to continue to, and maybe even become more conscious of the energy that you're in when you have a desire. And it's like, where's this desire coming from? Is it like, oh, I'm feeling good and this would be really cool, or something like this would be really awesome, or hey, I want to try this out, versus, oh my God, if I don't get this, then I'm not a worthy human being, or I need this to fulfill my sense of self. I need this to make me feel safe, secure, like I'm okay. And it's like when you're in that state, you know that what you think you want isn't necessarily always what you need, and you know how to give yourself what you need. And so you're just being asked to continue to do that. Or if you feel like you're someone who maybe hasn't fully figured that out yet, you are being called on to become more conscious of where your energy is at when you're desiring something, and then begin to implement more consciously certain practices where you can bring yourself back to yourself, where you can recognize, okay, I'm in my ego, which just means like I'm in survival mode, I'm in more of my mind and my survival energy, and I need to take care of that first. So, what is something that can calm me down? What is something that can help bring my system back down, bring me to a place of more peace, And is it what I think that I desire or think that I need, or is it something that's a little bit more basic, like a physical need that needs to be fulfilled? Sleep, rest, meditation, some kind of sound therapy, hypnosis or affirmations, something that will bring your energy back into balance, so then you can create and speak your desires from a place of satisfaction and know what you want, and know that I'm talking a lot about like desires and things that you want to create in your life, because it does feel like there's a lot of stuff that is coming to fruition that's linked with that. But it also feels like a lot of it is you stepping out of, like, you're more connected with what your true desires are when you're in this state of calm and relaxation and satisfaction. And so you might not always know what it is that you truly want, and you don't have to know in order for it to come to fruition, like consciously. But you can know when you are like in this mode of like, I need to strive, I need to push, I need to force, and you can reel that in and understand that like whatever you're trying to push or force, it doesn't mean that whatever it is that you want isn't something that you will really want or really will be interested in going after. It doesn't necessarily mean that something is wrong for you, but in that moment, whatever you're trying to make happen or force to happen is maybe not what you need to happen right then. That's like not what your system needs. That's not what you need to be looking for. Instead, what you need to do is settle your system and return to your base level of being satisfied with what you have, because when you're not, it's your subconscious beliefs telling you that there's there's a threat to your system, to your sense of self-worth. There's a belief in there, and you know how to reprogram yourself, or you know that there are tools out there that can help you. And so you know that even if you're not 100% sure in the moment what it exactly is that you need, you know enough to know that it's probably not whatever you feel like you need to make happen in that moment, right? Whatever you feel like you're lacking, whatever you feel like is missing. It's like this Three of Wands with the Nine of Cups here is like you're creating from a place of feeling like you already have, like you already are enough, like you already have enough, like your life is already wonderful and beautiful, like the world is already wonderful and beautiful in so many ways, and you are adding to it by being inspired and being confident enough in your inspiration to let things come to you in the right timing, to put a desire out there and let it come to you, to let the next step come to you, right? To yes, take action, but take the action when it's presented to you or when you feel that in your heart, in your soul, as opposed to your stress and your lack of self-worth, right? Which again, like, what's happening for you is a strong sense of self-worth, of connection with yourself, of joy and happiness and such. And so for you, I feel like it's going to be increasingly easy to move from that space in this new era. And this is just reminding you what you already know on some level, and to keep doing the things that you already know how to do, which is great. So with all that being said, I'm going to, I didn't realize you can't see the whole card there. I'm going to pull a quote card from my quote deck to close out the reading with a final message. So for group 2, what quote card has a message for group 2? Ooh, that flew out real fast. And then there's another pile here. Ooh. Oh, that's group 3's egg. So we're going to move that out of the way. So we're going to just check this pile as well. Is there a quote card here that has a message for group 2? Well, that's too many. Is there a quote card from this pile that has a message for group 2 as well? And we'll give it 2 more shuffles. Is there a quote card in this pile that has a message for group 2? And 1 more shuffle. Is there a quote card? All right, we've got 2. Okay. I'm going to read this one first, actually. So we have this little guy, this cute little guy, and he's a little sad, so let's see. It says, "It would be good to be full of holes," she says. "Then all the things you can't express would maybe just flow out." From Winter by Ali Smith. So you might be in, so this is from a book called Winter, and this reading is it's set in springtime, but it doesn't have to be spring wherever you are when you're watching. But this is about kind of a personal spring, right? Something hatching, something emerges in spring, right? Spring is like things are starting to flourish. And so what this feels like for you is a message about purging was the word that came through, but like in an emotional, energetic sense where if you're finding yourself feeling really emotional, feeling the urge to cry or let certain things out, to go with that, to allow that to flow, to see it as an opportunity. It's like when, like, you know, it rains, right? The rain makes the flowers grow. And so you are metaphorically growing the flowers of your life by allowing yourself to rain sometimes, allowing your system to release certain things. And it doesn't have to be like literally through crying as well. It can be through other ways of emotional processing. But this is really just about the processing of that and the acknowledgement that, you know, maybe you've been in a bit of a winter phase for a while. And so what's clearing out, there's things that need to be cleared out for the spring. And so it's like certain things are melting, right? So if you're experiencing a lot of more like emotional releases or things coming up, it's a clearing out. It's a spring cleaning, if you will, energetically. And for a lot of you, I feel like you are familiar with that kind of concept and you're comfortable with that, or at the very least aware that that's what is happening. But if it's a newer concept for you, you know, unless you feel like there's something else wrong or something going on, try that on for size and see if that helps you accept and allow your emotions to flow a bit more freely, because that is just part of the you know, this blossoming and blooming of this energy within you, right? It's again this idea that like your energy is clearing out your confidence, and maybe specifically your solar plexus for some of you, and so working with that chakra as well could be important. But like, yeah, there's this potential need to clear certain energies that is being brought up here for those for whom it resonates. And so you can just take that as a sign that certain things are just clearing out of the system so that the new can be firmly brought in. And with that, let's read your other card. This green. It says, "Things are as they are. Looking out into the universe at night, we make no comparisons between right and wrong stars, nor between well and badly arranged constellations." Yes. And so this is as well an emotional releasing that's also mental as well, in terms of releasing judgments. And it feels like you are someone who would align with or understand the concept of neutrality in the face of situations where you might have been tempted to make a certain judgment, like this is good, this is bad. Like sometimes neutrality is really the most important state we can be in, to not make meaning out of a situation, especially when that meaning is negative or something that we don't want to invite. And you are in a place where you're ready to enter certain situations or allow certain mindsets where you're more you're embracing neutrality more. You're embracing just being, not only like letting yourself just be, letting your emotions just be, letting other people just be, letting life just be, letting the world just be. And again, from this place, there's a lot that's flourishing and growing for you, but it's also like you're not, I just got the message, you're not addicted to the emotion anymore. Whether that be an addiction to certain negative emotions or to really high positive emotions where you're like there's this push and pull, right? This need to experience certain things and these highs and these lows. It feels like you are coming into a place of much more balance. And so while, yes, there's like a lot of joy and happiness and such in this reading and blossoming for you, and you're feeling really good. That's what it feels like. You're feeling really good. It's not this dependence on certain feelings or emotions that's coming through. Like, again, I got a message about releasing codependence in so many different ways that can be related to how we relate to our emotions and our emotional states. And there can be a level of like addiction to certain emotion that puts us in a state of like feeling like we need to feel a certain way, whether consciously or subconsciously, whether they're emotions that we accept or emotions that we don't accept. Like, the system can get really used to feeling a certain way. And so it feels like you are going through a phase. And so if you've been through a phase a bit of feeling more neutral and like even keel, it feels like that's kind of like the reset for you. Again, like there's this purging as well. So maybe you've been releasing some emotions and it's taking you into a more neutral space, but it's like, yeah, there's like a reset, a calm before the storm. But in this case, the storm is like the sun coming out is like a good thing. It's like a perfect storm, the storm of, but in a good way, of like beautiful things coming in, like that kind of thing. There's like a certain neutrality that you're coming to, or that you might find yourself in more often, when in the past you might have felt really strongly, especially if you felt really strongly in a negative direction about certain things. You're like reaching a space of neutrality about them, which is beautiful. So that's all the messages we have, group 2. So I hope you enjoyed that reading. Thank you so much for listening, watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe. And also, as I mentioned in the very beginning of the reading, if you are interested in a reading during the month of April and May 2026, if you are watching in April or May of 2026, you can get a tarot reading for 30% off. I will leave the link to sunflowerphilosophy.com in the description, and you can check out that sale for my 30th birthday. So yeah, please check it out. And also, if you're interested in obviously tarot or hypnosis services at any other time of year as well, we do offer those anytime. So whenever you're watching this, check those out. And thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye. Hi, group 3. If you selected the green and purple egg, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading about what is hatching in your life right now or very soon. And we are going to look at what's inside the egg. We're going to get some bird and tarot cards to tell us what is hatching and how you can nurture it. And then we are going to get some quote cards to close out. So first things first, let's take a look at your egg. Color-wise, I'm just getting Barney the dinosaur. So maybe that's significant. Yeah, I'm getting like, I love you, you love me, we're a happy family. So maybe that means something to you. Out of all the eggs, I feel like this one feels the most springy to me. So maybe it really is spring when you're watching this. Maybe you're watching it when it's uploaded and you're in the same hemisphere as me. Or maybe you're watching this in another time and it is spring. If you are watching in April and May of 2026, then you can get 30% off tarot readings, so check that out. But anyway, group 3, let's get into what's actually inside your egg. So let's see, we've got, I guess I'll read this first. We have a little paper that is one of the, like, these papers that I made for myself for like a self-care jar for when I like need to do something but I don't know what. Excuse me. I could pick a paper out of the out of the jar, and it can give me some self-care things to do. So I picked one out for you. So let's see what we've got. We have make quote cards. Make quote cards. So that's very specific to me. But the quote cards are, like I said, something that I'm going to, if you haven't seen them before, if you haven't been on this channel, I'm going to pull one for you. But the quote cards are these cards that I made that have like a drawing on the back, and then they have a quote on the other side. And I won't read any of the quotes now because we'll wait till we get one for you. But I made those as a personal creative project that was it was like really freeing because I just kind of did whatever I wanted. They were purely for me. I just used really cheap index cards and I pulled from like quotes that are meaningful in my life. And then I created like so many of them that I ended up using them in tarot readings. And it ended up being really cool, and they could be a really fun project for yourself. But understanding that not everyone has like a lot of quotes that are meaningful to them or wants to spend time or effort like making a whole quote card deck for you, we can interpret this as well as just make something. Do something creative. Make something just because, just for the joy and the act of creation. And so whatever that is for you, whatever resonates for you, or whatever you've been wanting to try, or whatever is your personal brand of creativity, act on that, make something, but also just do it for the sake of it. Do it for you. And so that's an important message that's coming through. We also have this amethyst stone. So amethyst is purple. First of all, purple might be significant. Barney the dinosaur, again, coming through. But amethyst is a stone that actually, off the top of my head, for some reason, like, I generally know what amethyst is for, but like, it's not coming to me. So I almost feel like some of you might have a very particular association with the stone of amethyst that is not one that I necessarily am privy to. And so it could have a very special significance for some of you. But also it may be more about the color itself, the color purple being significant, the color of royalty, the color of the... Which chakra is it? Is it the third eye or is it the crown? I think it's the third eye. I'm getting third eye. So for some of you, you may be deeply spiritual. You may be receiving more downloads or insights recently. There could be a third eye opening happening for you. It could be something that's channeled through your creativity. So making something, especially something that you make with your own hands, may bring out some of the insights and intuition that are bubbling up for you. And automatic writing just came to me as well. And then we have this dragonfly pendant. So dragonflies can be significant. I believe there's something interesting about dragonflies in that they spend a certain amount of their life like in the water, like on the ground, fully grounded, and then once they grow their wings, they never leave the sky, right? They take off and they never go back. So there's this like message that's coming through of like never, like something taking off, you being, you moving somewhere, going somewhere, or like reaching a level, a place, a state of being, maybe even a spiritual state where you never come back from that in like a good way. Like you can never go back to your old self. There's like a new self that's blooming that you are becoming, and you can never go back to your old self. Like, so there's this real feeling that wherever you're at in your life, you've crossed a point of no return into a new version of yourself that is permanent. So, you know how you can go through cycles where you repeat certain lessons, or, you know, depending on how you view life, you might not view life through that lens of lesson learning, but you might repeat certain lessons, certain cycles, have certain experiences over and over again, you know, feel like you've overcome something, but then you have like a quote unquote regression. And it's not necessarily that it's a regression. You never go through the same thing exactly the same way per se. There's always a level of progression that you've made it through. But it feels like for this group, in some significant way, you've made it to a place where like there's certain things you're just never going to repeat. There's certain ways of being that you're just never going to be again, that you're never going to experience again. And it's things that by and large you wouldn't want to. There's a new version of you that you are very happy to be, and it feels like it's a very happy thing. It's a good thing, and for a lot of you, it's a message that you want to hear and have been needing to hear. Great. So that's given us some very interesting things to work with. But let's get into your cards now. So I'm going to first pull a bird card, and then we'll pull some tarot, and we'll ask more directly, what is hatching for group 3 right now? What is hatching for group 3 right now? What is hatching for group 3 right now? Group 3. We're in group 3. What is hatching for group 3 right now. We have, Hawk. Guardianship and vision strong. I don't really love how it says that, so I'm going to say strong vision. But that does remind me of this amethyst with the purple, the third eye, this, I hope the third eye is purple, but regardless, it's the message that came through, so that's significant. But there's this feeling of seeing clearly, not just with your physical eyes, maybe not at all with your physical eyes, I don't know what your situation is, but seeing clearly in a more metaphorical sense, in a more intuitive sense. There's also, of course, this message of guardianship, and it feels like this is letting you know that you are protected and you are safe, and maybe for a lot of you that, especially like spiritually speaking, but also there's a message for some of you that there's like a guardianship that you have over someone else, like you're someone's guardian. Maybe you are a parent or guardian, maybe you are a teacher or someone who takes care of other people. That could be relevant to you. It could be relevant to a new role that you're taking on. Maybe for some of you, like what's hatching for you is literally a child. I mean, I know human children don't hatch, but you know what I'm saying. Or a new role or profession where you're in charge of others or taking care of others. But again, there's also the message of like being protected, being guarded. So let's ask the tarot cards. What is hatching right now for group 3? What is hatching right now for group 3? Ooh. Let's see. We got Page of Wands. Yeah, so definitely there could be something to do with children here for this group. But it doesn't have to be like literally having a child. It's a pretty specific message. It's not going to resonate with everyone. So it can be more like, again, not necessarily directly your own child or own children. It could also be taking on a role of responsibility where you're responsible for other people in some way, or regarding your own inner child, or a new creative journey. I don't know why I said it creative. A new creative journey that you're going on, that you're embarking on. I need another card for this. What is hatching for group? And this almost like this Page of Wands could be either way. Even if you resonate with the child message, like this Page of Wands represents also your new self that you have become. And this new self is curious, playful, spontaneous, fun, creative, just like spirited, very spirited, energetic. Yeah. What is hatching for group 3? We have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Ooh, in reverse. Okay. So there's also an independence here with the Page of Wands that I'm getting. And so with the Five of Pentacles in reverse, that feels like a release of codependency. So for some of you, there's also this message of getting free of something, maybe free of a relationship, or maybe free of a lack mentality in some area of your life, whether that's represented by you physically leaving a situation or leaving something behind, or it's more like a shift in perspective, a shift in your physical relationship with the things and people around you, with the world around you, because the Page of Wands doesn't have a lack mentality. The Page of Wands is much more curious and spirited and forward focused, as opposed to focused on like experience of the past that may have communicated lack to, your subconscious or your inner child, right? Like the Page of Wands is like not concerned about that. Not concerned about like the worldly situation that they're in. In fact, I feel like the Page of Wands could have very little and be on an adventure and not really care. Like it's giving I've been watching this a lot lately, so it's not really surprising. Actually, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't come through in any of the other readings so far. But it's just came through here. So I've been watching One Piece, which is an anime, or there's also a manga. Obviously, it was that originally, but like if you're not familiar with it, there's a character in it called Luffy that is definitely coming through with this Page of Wands here. Luffy's also got very strong, like, fool energy. And he's a very charming character. Not always the sharpest tool in the shed, but sometimes has moments of absolute brilliance. But either way, it's not about your intelligence. It's more about the spirit and the energy that he brings to the table. And it's very adventurous, and his main focus is more about, like, freedom, adventure, friendship, having fun. He could be a bit impulsive, fiery, spirited, and that's the energy that is coming through for you. And is being ignited in you, I feel like, whether or not you resonate with even the idea of, like, taking care of others, being responsible for others. Because Luffy himself, he's not necessarily the most, like, responsible person per se, but he is also, like, a pirate captain, and he does take care of his crew members, and he has his own way of, like, being there for people. And so that is a part of his story, and so it does connect with the energy that I'm feeling here. And so you could be a leader and a guardian and a protector without necessarily being, like, the most parental, responsible adult in the room, right? Like, you may have your own way of bringing certain, like, qualities to the table that where you step up when it's demanded of you, but you also let people live their lives, be who they are, and have, like, a more hands-off approach, right? Like, you're not maybe, like, directly taking care of everyone and making sure everyone has what they need. It's more like when someone needs something from you and it's within your personal skill set to do so, like, you'll step up, you're there, you're along for the ride, you're loyal, you're protective, but you're also, you know, you're doing your own thing, you're letting other people do their own thing. Like, there's an independence here, a freedom here. And it feels like if you are someone who is engaging a lot with, like, children, you're a guardian, you're a teacher, you're a parent, there's an element to which, like, children, if you're having a new adventure with children, like, they're bringing out this more childlike spirited nature in you as well. Like, that's part of that journey. So it's not just about you engaging with that energy and being a protector and guardian. It's like it's bringing that energy in you, which again is not focused on lack, on, oh my god, are we gonna have enough? Do we have enough? Do I have enough? Survival as much. And either it's because you are in a place where you are secure and settled in a very tangible way, you feel confident in that element of your life, and or you're just in an energy where that's just not your focus, and you're someone who can survive or is confident in your ability to make do with what you have. And maybe you don't feel like you need all that much right now to enjoy, to have life. Like, I'm thinking of someone who, like, you know, lives in a van, packs up their life, lives in a van, and, like, lives off of very little, is more interested in the adventure, in the minimalism, and just being able to go wherever you want to go. Like, even if that's not your literal situation, it's almost like that's the spirit that you're embodying. And again, that message with, like, the I almost said firefly, but dragonfly, freedom, and, like, flying away and being a new version of yourself, like, that may very literally resonate for some of you. So let's get into how we can nurture this, like, new spirited, like, it's I feel like it's very spiritual energy as well. Like, there's this, like, the Fool keeps coming through, even though the Fool's not here, and it's like this adventurous energy where you're connected with spirit. It's like, again, like, you may or may not have a lot of material security in the traditional sense, but I feel like you have a lot of spiritual security in this era of your life. Oh, that's just too many cards. Okay, I dropped them. Hold on. We need to reshuffle these. Group. No, hold on. Okay, group 3. How can we nurture this new version of you that is hatched? This new version of you that's coming into being. Yeah, we're gonna take them all. All right, so we have 5 of Cups, High Priestess, 4 of Swords, Knight of Wands in reverse. These all came out together, but I decided to take them, so 5 of Cups, High Priestess, 4 of Swords, Knight of Wands. Okay. All right, so it almost feels like a step-by-step thing that we have going on here. Five of Cups, it's like whenever faced with disappointment or something that you could perceive as not going your way or not looking good, instead of judging based on outward appearances, it's like you're going into your intuition. You're returning into within yourself, right? You're not judging from like external appearances, but you're tapping into something that's a bit deeper, that's deeper down. Maybe very literally meditating or resting, right? Taking a step back and not acting impulsively. Which is interesting because we do have the Page of Wands, so it like feels like there's a bit of impulsivity in that energy. But it's like you're a Page of Wands with wisdom and experience. It's like when I keep coming back to the Fool, but when I read the Fool, it's not necessarily always that someone is explicit, like extremely naive per se. I mean, if we're talking about like Luffy from One Piece, yeah, in some ways, in some cases, he's pretty naive, or at least he comes across that way. But but we're not necessarily talking about someone who's like naive or like too pure for this world and has no idea of like, you know, what it's like to experience certain things or the concerns or worries of everyday life that people might have. It's not that, but it's more like an intentional, in this case, it's more like an intentional spirit energy that you've created for yourself, that you've accepted and nurtured within yourself, that comes with its own wisdom, where when you're acting in a way that might be perceived as impulsive to other people, it's actually acting on inspiration, from inspiration rather than impulsivity. And so when it comes to situations where it might look like things... Heyo, group 3, I ran out of storage, so sorry about that. I got cut off right in the middle of a pretty good message that I did end up writing down because I did have to come back another day to record this. So I am going to take a look at those notes and tap back into that energy and pick right back up where we left off. So I was talking about the messages we have here regarding how we can nurture your new phase, a new version of you that's hatching. And we're talking about you being able to take a step back from disappointments and move through emotions more efficiently rather than getting stuck in lack or doubt, right? Getting stuck in this 5 of Pentacles reversed, this 5 of Cups, right? It's an ability that you have to understand that things sometimes unfold in ways that you don't expect or anticipate, and it doesn't have to mean that something is going wrong or that something is wrong with you. So you're giving different meaning to things that don't go the way that you expect or anticipate or would prefer things to go, right? You are much more able to go with the flow, tap into your intuition, allow the adventure to unfold, and you are combining childlike wisdom, which is wonder, creativity, spirit, openness to possibility, and a curiosity, an ability to be open to the world instead of really rigid in how you define life, right? And the things that are happening in it. And you're combining that with adult emotional maturity and wisdom, right? A sense of knowing that in the moment you can choose how to process your own emotions, right? And you have a certain amount of control over that, in the sense that you choose to acknowledge, allow, and express your emotions in the way that you prefer, that you wish to, that is both loving for you and also constructive to the world, right? Rather than suppressing emotion or letting it out in destructive ways. You are working with yourself to process it and understand it and allow it, right? It's you walking hand in hand with your inner child, and it's not just you giving into the child or you giving into the adult, but all of you coming together to walk side by side through this adventure. And so in the process of nurturing this new version of you, you're being called to greater awareness of when you find yourself in those lacking or doubting moments, when you find yourself focusing on the past, on something that hasn't quite gone the way that you expected it to. You are more intentionally processing that emotion, diverting your attention, tapping back into your intuition, allowing things to unfold, and not reacting so automatically to things in a way you might have in the past, right? And it feels like this is something that is much easier for you to do now and will only continue to get easier as you walk this new path where you are essentially this new version of you that is open to a greater level of possibility and adventure, and you feel like I was saying before, you are protected and you're safe, but you feel protected and safe more so. And there's also a certain amount of thrill that I feel like you take in the concept of danger, not danger in the sense of you are actively seeking out danger per se, but more like you're choosing to live a little bit more on the edge than you used to, even if that means more like emotionally on the edge than you used to. Your edge can be different from other people's. It doesn't have to be like you're jumping out of planes and you're skydiving and all that. You don't have to be like, a thrill seeker. This is more of a metaphorical thing, and unless that's the case for you, right? But it's more like an openness to the unknown that thrills you, and you're like giving into that thrill and allowing yourself to get a little bit carried away in it, but with that wisdom that you have of the wisdom that you've gathered throughout your lifetime that keeps you safe, but also helps you align with the things that you might need along the way, like discipline and patience, alongside that more rambunctious, the way that I said that was so weird, the more rambunctious and energetic aspects of who you are now. So yes, so right now, just emotional maturity, awareness, and the ability to return to your inner wisdom, your inner knowing, without succumbing to the more survival-based, lack-based thought patterns is important. And allowing yourself the time to process things if you need it, because I feel like that time for you is getting faster and faster, but also it's getting faster and faster because you actually are very intentional about it. You're actually allowing yourself to accept that sometimes you just need a minute to allow a feeling of disappointment to pass through or allow some sadness to come up. And it doesn't mean the same amount of time, or guilt is a word I just heard, like sitting with guilt or sadness or making it mean things that you might have made it mean in the past. Like it's just a momentary experience, and then you're on to the next thing. So with that being said, I'm going to read from The Hawk, from the Bird book. I didn't do this in group 2 because it felt less relevant, but I feel like I want to do that for your group. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to get some quote cards to close out. So let's take a look at what it says for Hawk. Okay. So we have guardianship and vision strong. The hawk is one of the most amazing raptors, which are universally recognized as guardians and messengers. Hawks spend 3/4 of their day perched somewhere observing the area around them, searching to detect the subtlest of movements, patiently waiting until the best moment to strike. Because of this habit, the appearance of a hawk can forewarn us of possibilities for new ventures and possible trouble. Your own perceptions will be heightened through the coming few weeks. Trust your perceptions at this time. The powerful beak and talons of the hawk are other outstanding characteristics. With its great ability to grasp without fear, hawk encourages us to grasp our own opportunities when they present themselves. Hawks have a scaled leg to protect themselves against bites when striking prey, reassuring us that there is protection for the things we strike out for. Hawk's appearance always heralds a time of greater strength and vision, which will help us tremendously in our present endeavors. We will have protection in our journeys and endeavors. Now is the time to gallantly move forward with them. Yep. Basically, you are protected. You are feeling that and accepting that in this new era of your life, and you are moving. Like I said, like there's this spirit, this energy, this strength, this wisdom in who you are now. This adventurous spirit, but then that wisdom, right? That like the wisdom of the hawk, where you can sit and wait and observe, and hone in on the opportunity that's for you, the adventure that's for you, right? And that's where we also have this like this energy of being able to take a step back when you have a moment where you might want to react from a space of lack or doubt or a lower emotion that's just not quite what you want to, where you want to act from. Your ability to step back and wait and not force something out of this feeling of I need to make this better, I need to fix this or whatever, is what's a key feature of this new era. And that's why that's part of you nurturing this new version of you, is you're not letting it get caught up in the old emotions, right? You're allowing yourself to take a step back, to sit and wait, let things unfold, and you know that your opportunity or the correct route or the sign that you need to show you how everything is unfolding perfectly is just around the corner, and you're just able to allow that to come to you, which is really cool. And then you're confident enough and agile enough is the word that I just heard, to take that opportunity when it comes, to strike out on that adventure and to go for it. So now that we've talked about that, I'm going to close out with some quote cards. So let's find out if there's any closing messages for you regarding this new era. Like I said, like there's an element in all the groups of so far of sort of becoming a new person, entering a new era, but this one feels like it's like a very like complete transformation, in the sense that like this is like you really having become a new person. And I feel like this is something that's obviously happened over time, but you know, when you reach a certain tipping point of change, all of a sudden things start to really show and fall into place. And I feel like you're at that stage where like now it's very noticeable to you, to other people, that you are in many ways a brand new person. Again, in a positive way, and not in a way where we're disparaging any of the versions of you that came before, but more like you're just very happy to be the version of you that you are now, and there's so much you've gained from your past. Ooh, actually, I wasn't even shuffling intentionally, but this card did fall out, and it feels like this one, I kept noticing it as I was shuffling, so this one is definitely for you. And then I'll also just shuffle up another one from this deck, because I have a lot of quote cards. Yeah, these are the quote cards that I'm talking about when with your recommendation here from the beginning, and make quote cards. So you can do that literally if you want. Like literally just you can get yourself some cheap index cards and find some quotes, or make a list of quotes that are really inspiring to you, and then write them on the card, and then draw something, whether it relates directly to the quote or is just more like a subconscious or more abstract representation of like a feeling that you're getting or whatever. Like that could be something that's really valuable for you, and then you can use it for your own little intuitive practice. But again, like you could do what you want. Like you could make it your own kind of creative project. All right, anything else for group 3 here? Anything else for group 3? Anything else for group 3 from the quote cards? Ooh, yeah, we've got 2 actually. So let's do this. So let's see. We have this one, these 2 people here. And this says, "There's no shame in meeting a worthy opponent. It means there is more to learn, a welcome reminder to pursue humility." From Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. Yeah. And I feel like that speaks to the adventurous spirit that's coming through in this reading, where the version of you that you are now is not afraid to be outmatched by someone, because even if in the past you might have felt insecure and intimidated by people, now you have learned to change the meaning of that sort of feeling of intimidation, that feeling of being outmatched, into an excitement for what you can learn from this person, from the situation. An admiration, and also a knowing within yourself that if there's something in that person you admire and you want to go for it, you are well within your abilities, your capabilities, your rights to go for it, to learn through that experience, to have fun with that experience, and that you're capable of being just as amazing and brilliant, and you also don't need to be in order to be worthy and loved. There's just a confidence there, right? So there is you can take this as a reminder as well to pursue humility, but this is a reminder of what humility really is, which is not a denigration of yourself. It's not like self-deprecation. What it is a humbleness is an openness to not knowing everything. And with the Page of Wands here, that's kind of like, it's like you're the Page of Wands because it's not a regression to like a more childlike version of you. It's like, that's not a regression, right? That's almost like, it's like this admission that the more you know, the less you know, and therefore a curiosity is like reopening or opening more fully within you to what you have left to learn. And so your confidence is not dependent on knowing everything and already being amazing or great or good at everything. Your confidence comes from something much deeper, much more innate, much more rooted in like your just very being and existence. So then you can take that into new situations and learn from them and grow from them in ways that someone who's like sort of more egoically confident and less deeply confident, right? Who's a little bit more insecure on the inside might not be able to do, because they feel the need to already know everything. And when you feel the need to already know everything, you're not open to learning new things, because that negates the idea that you already know everything, right? So that's the humility that comes with this new version of you. And that's why you're the Page of Wands here, because you're not afraid to be you're not afraid to be in that place where you don't know everything. You're not afraid to be the person with less experience. You're not afraid to be open to the experience of having more to learn, because, I mean, how could we not have more to learn in this life, right? And so that's a really beautiful part of this new phase for you, and something that you are being reminded is a benefit, is a progression of your character, and is to be celebrated and welcomed, and is going to open up so many doors for you. And with that being said, we also have this card here, and I love this like fiery figure sort of dancing, because it's very Page of Wands. It's very the energy that I'm getting from this group. And we have, there is no greater freedom than the freedom to be what you are now, from Alan Watts. Yes, there is no greater freedom than the freedom to be what you are now. Exactly, like what we were just saying, like you not needing to be the best, to feel like you know everything, to feel like you're the complete and total version of yourself. Because if you were, then what more is there to learn and experience and grow through? And then you're stifling yourself. Then you're not really growing anymore. You're stagnating. And so you are in this phase where you are both happy and satisfied with where you are at, who you are at your essence, and that is opening you up to aspire to more, to learn more, to grow more in ways that you might not have even been open to before, because you might not have recognized that sometimes the biggest and most profound growth isn't that recognizable from the outside or to other people, or isn't as shiny and chrome. I'm getting like like a Mad Max Fury Road. There's some Furious vibes here, even though that's not at all like, it's not. There's something about that though. There's something about that could be significant for someone, but like I don't know. I feel like the like sort of bizarre like aesthetics and the wacky but also like incredibly powerful characters and the like sort of energy and the like go 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 vibe of like the whole story of Mad Max Fury Road, you know, being a road race in the desert with some crazy dystopian characters and that one guy playing the guitar on top of the rig, like, you know, all that craziness. Like, that's kind of the vibe though that we're getting here. Like, it's simultaneously frenetic and relaxed at the same time. Like, you're someone who can find yourself just as comfortable in a really like intense and energetic situation as much as you can in a more relaxed and laid back situation. Interesting. I didn't know that where that was going, but but yeah, and maybe that movie, maybe that film has some significance to you. But regardless, it's like this. Yeah, you're satisfied with who you are now, and it's because you're not defining yourself by what you think you know and who you think you are, and some like more surface level identity. You are because you are, and you can do and be and have and learn whatever you want, just on that basis of feeling that connected to yourself, your true self. You know, your the intangible part of you that you can't really vocalize, it just is. And then we have this card here with this like sort of sunset happening. We have, there was a silent moment when everything held its breath, and then the sun rose. It was beautiful. From The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. Yeah, okay, so it's a sunrise, not a sunset. But I feel like that's what's happening. It's like, I feel like there was a sunset on a version of you, and maybe you went through a bit of a nighttime period where you weren't sure who you were and things were very uncertain. Things could have felt dark, or maybe it just felt like you just didn't know where you were going and what was happening, and you just kind of were fumbling around without any idea of like who you were, and in that dark space, in that nighttime, you found connection with your true self, and now the sun has is rising on that new version of you, on that version of you that is self-assured from a place that is not possible to vocalize, from something deep within you that is just connected, simply connected to your soul, source, God, the universe, all that is, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a deeper connection there that I feel like you are tapping into more and more every day, if not fully connected to most of the time. And if you don't feel like that's quite where you're at, that is what is on the horizon for you and is becoming much more part of your life as you continue down this path that I feel like you've actually been on for quite a while. Yeah, so you're just like out here being yourself, and it's great. But yourself is not something that's as easily definable as just being like, oh, I like spaghetti and I don't like ice cream, and well, that's crazy, first of all. Like, who doesn't like ice cream? But you know what I mean. You know, you're not defining yourself so much by those things. You're open to the experience of life, and being open requires you to not be so quick to say who you are, because you don't need that to define you. You have something much, you have a connection to something much deeper that exists within everyone and within all of creation. You know, it's just that you're at a place where you're tapping into that more consciously, more regularly, and it's integrating much more into your experience of life. Wow, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, group 3. Pretty cool. And I have to say, just before I close out, this and a lot of the readings that I do, I feel like it can sound very grand, right? And like, oh, wow, like that's a huge transformation and change. And I feel for a lot of people who come to this channel, maybe that is where you're at in your life. But I also want to say that this is one snapshot moment of a grander journey that you're on. And so the actual change as it's taking place may feel more mundane than this. And it may only feel grand and as inspiring and big as it feels to me right now in certain particular moments, or when you are able to zoom out and take in the whole view of your whole journey. But I feel like that's that's what I'm here for right now, right? Is to get this snapshot of your journey, to have this bigger picture vision of where you're at and what you've been through, to convey that to you. And if it resonates with you and your journey, then you can hopefully grab hold of that feeling and recognize it as your own energy, recognize it as your own experience, and be able to feel the awe that I often feel when I'm reading this kind of energy. So I hope that you were able to capture that today, and I hope that that's a more regular part of your life now. In just when you can step back and just look at your overall journey as a being and appreciate it and feel like, wow, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So with that being said, group 3, I hope you enjoyed this reading very much. Before I go, just would love to let you know that you can like, comment, subscribe, all the things would be amazing, so helpful. Also, there's a sale going on right now if you're watching in April or May of 2026. It is my 30th birthday in the beginning of April. Actually, it is literally my birthday today that I am recording this, not the day that I'm uploading it, but the day I'm recording this. So I am doing a sale, 30% off all tarot readings. So you can go to the website, the link is in the description, sunflowerphilosophy.com, and check out the sale prices, and you can get a reading, written and emailed readings, or recorded and emailed readings, or a live one-on-one guided session, all up to you. So yeah, thanks so much for being here. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye! Hi, Group 4. If you selected this pink and yellow egg, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading all about what is hatching for you right now in your life. And I am going to start by actually just talking about your egg a little bit, and then we're going to open up the egg, see what's inside of it. Then we'll get some tarot and a bird oracle card to talk more specifically about what it is that is hatching in your life and how you can nourish and nurture that. We'll close out with some quote cards that I have made myself with any final messages. So let's talk about your egg first. So this egg is really giving me like party vibes. I don't know, maybe it's the spiky design, but I'm feeling like a little bit of a party here, feeling like some really active energy here. The yellow is really sticking out to me as solar plexus energy, like the solar plexus chakra, so like willpower, self-esteem, confidence. And also this egg is the only one that like kept trying to stand up. Like now it's not doing it, but before, like when I was laying all the eggs out, it kept trying to stand up like this. Like it would just like that. So I almost get this feeling of someone who, I'm getting the song Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. Like, I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. So there's definitely like a fighting spirit that's coming through in this group. And I don't know if it's you guys, or I'm actually hearing it could be like a guide or like ancestor or some spirit who's with you on this journey. But also like this feeling of someone who's like, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready. Like, I don't know what you're ready for, but there's this feeling of like, I'm ready. Like, come on, bring it on, you know? Like, this, like I said, like this kind of fighter energy, like this feeling of like, I'm ready to go, you know? So, interesting. So now let's open up the egg and see what's inside of it and get some more messages. So we have this little piece of paper here, which has, so actually these pieces of paper I put in each egg came from a like self-care jar that I made for myself a while ago. I didn't really use it that much, but I put like little different self-care activities I could do for myself in times when I wasn't sure what I like needed. So I could like pick one out and see, do I want to do that? And use that to help me, you know, just be more attentive to myself at times, especially when, you know, if you're really down or you're just really like agitated. Sometimes you don't know what it is that you need and you can't think of all the things that make you feel better. So I picked one out for you guys to see what your activity would be. And we have journal. Very straightforward, very simple. Well, I guess it can be simple or it can be rather complicated depending on how you like to journal, if you like to journal. But writing things out, words, getting words out of your head Could be very important for this group right now. Could be something that's very helpful for you. Also, we have this red ribbon, this small red bow. So the color red, I mean, like, it's kind of similar with the color pink, right? There's this feeling of energy, passion. Actually, I'm also going to take out there's this little crystal that came out, which is also red. It's like a reddish orange with these little gold flecks in it. And so I'm getting like, again, where I was feeling that energy, that sort of like fighting, fiery passion, I was feeling also courage. So I feel like red is and pink and like those sort of, and this yellow, like that's really this spiky yellow design, like it's all feeling like very fiery, very passionate, very energetic, courageous, like a fighter energy, but also like a party energy, like a fun energy. And so that could be what's hatching in your life right now, is like a more fun version of you. Not to say that you aren't already fun, but more fun is hatching in your life right now, I feel. More energy is hatching in your life right now. And with the red ribbon as well, I mean, I keep getting like this, I keep hearing like the red string of fate. I know it's not a string, but I keep hearing like red string of fate in my mind. Also, the color red often associated, I feel, with, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments as well, if you, because I don't know that much about this, but I feel like it's connected with like the Lunar New Year, like Chinese New Year is what we call it sometimes in the States, but like the Lunar New Year. And if that's a significant color for you, like culturally, that could be important as well. That time of year could be important. Yeah, and something to do with hair as well, like a hair ribbon. Even though this isn't a hair ribbon, I'm feeling like hair could be a very significant part of your like aesthetic, or something that you are really drawn to, or something that you're like, maybe you're thinking of getting a haircut right now, or I mean, maybe you don't have hair. I don't know. You don't have to in order for like the head, like the top of the head, maybe the crown, to be significant. Interesting. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into the cards and get more information about what's hatching for you right now. Group 4. Yeah, there's like passion here, energy, vibrance. What is hatching for group 4? What is hatching for group 4, please? What is hatching for group 4? What is hatching for group 4? Ooh. Almost, but not quite. What is hatching for group 4? Ooh, magpie. Wait, is this upright or reversed? That's reversed. Secrets discovered, but it's reversed. Interesting. And let's think about like magpies. They like to collect things. Maybe you like to collect things. Maybe you are adding some things to your collection. Let's see. What is hatching for group 4? What is hatching for group 4? Okay, we have strength and the 6 of cups together. What is hatching for group 4? Secrets discovered. Magpie in reverse. I didn't do this for the other groups, and I didn't read the bird book in all groups, but I'm actually going to read this. Magpie. Reversed. Let's see. While magpies are scavengers and opportunists and can teach us to use what we have at hand, when reversed, magpie warns that we should worry more about our own situation rather than those of others. You are likely dabbling with things you shouldn't, or even butting into situations where you are not needed. Just because you have some secret knowledge, it does not mean you should share it and use it at this time. Sometimes it is best to keep information to yourself, no matter how complete it is. The knowledge and information may not help, nor do all we think it can. Sharing it will create more problems now. Interesting. So And this talks about here about how magpies can symbolize a secretive, occult, or metaphysical knowledge. And so, like, you may be someone who's very intuitive, who picks up on a lot of information, who you might be someone who feels like you know a bit more about people than they let on. And in the past, you may have tried to either actively tried to meddle a bit more in people's lives, or actively or just in your energy field, in your thoughts, in your mind, people's energy took up a lot more space than maybe necessary. And so it feels like in this new era where you're moving into is this, with the strength card here, right? Because strength, courage was coming through, this energy, this passion, this like fun loving energy. It feels like moving from this like, I have to be involved and like this focus on other people and other people's energy that you might be picking up on, right? It might be coming to you. You might not be trying to pick up on it, but you might be someone who's very intuitive, very connected, right? But there's this shift from focusing on that energy and information that you get to focusing more on cultivating your own energy, right? And so you might have a practice where you help people, work with people, or you might want to start channeling that ability that you have to pick up on the subtle energies into a work or practice that you have. But you're in a new era where you have boundaries around when you're using that ability and when you're not. So in the sense that, say, like, I'm a tarot reader, I'm a hypnotist, I work with people as my job, right? So I've had to develop boundaries around, okay, I'm tapping into intuitive gifts, I'm looking into other people's energy, I'm seeking to help other people. When people are coming to me, asking me to do it, when I am sitting down to do a reading, when I am sitting down with someone and working with them one-on-one, right? That's when I am actively looking to understand what's going on in someone's energy, in someone's mind, when I'm tapping into the information that I'm getting, right? In order to help someone, because they're asking me to, because they want me to. And if I can allow that to be intentional, I can also intentionally allow myself to focus more on my energy in the times when that's not the case, right? If I'm just going about my day and I'm picking up on all this energy, all this information from other people, it can take me away from my own life, my own energy. I could start to live other people's lives for them, or try to, or just internally feel like I'm living other people's lives instead of living my own. And so the new era that you're in is having those boundaries around your energy, because you are much more focused on your own strength, on your own energy, on your own creativity, I just heard, and sharing those gifts intentionally with other people when it's called upon, when it's called for, and when you feel empowered in the doing so, rather than like you have to fix, change, or force somebody to hear the knowledge that you have that may or may not actually be needed in that moment, right? And so there's this feeling of like recognizing your abilities to this is very specific. I understand this is very specific group 4, but it almost feels like this is a very, very specific bunch of people. It feels like you are really, it's like the more you recognize your ability to pick up on these things about people, to pick on subtler energies, to pick up on secrets, on hidden knowledge, on energetic knowledge, the more you're recognizing this as a strength, a power, an ability that you can have, hone, practice, the more you are becoming intentional about it, and then the more you're actually able to help and share this knowledge with other people. And I just got the message that for some of you, this is knowledge as well, that for some of you, it's not just about, picking up on on other people's energies and things like that. It's also things that you've learned, wisdom that you've gained throughout your life that you're eager to share with others, that you want to share with others, experiences, past experiences that you've learned from, and knowledge that you wish to convey to other people, that again, you are learning to do intentionally, that you are drawing, you're standing in your own power, focusing more on your own energy, cultivating that, working with that, is encouraging others to come to you when the time is right in order to seek that wisdom, rather than you having to go out and hunt people down or try to force any kind of wisdom onto them or assume that you have to get out there. Like, it's not, there's no urgency here. It's interesting because we have that energy, that fire, that fun, that passion, right? But it feels like almost in the past that would get depleted from you just being so focused on other people, on other people's energy, on other people, feeling like you need to put yourself in situations where you have to, like, again, like, meddle is the word that keeps coming through. But I do feel like it's with the best of intentions. It's because you do have genuine wisdom to share. And it's because you have this urge, this fire in you that encourages you to share. It's just that you're becoming much more intentional about when you do and how you do. And that's opening up opportunities for you to share in a more organic way, so that you're not constantly feeling like you're pulled in this direction or that direction by that person's problem or this person's life. So then your energy is not being depleted, and you're being able to actually use it more intentionally for the things that you want to use it for, if that makes sense. And so also journaling coming through as something that can help you. Maybe that's something that you've already been doing, but also if you are someone who is used to getting caught in, like, thought loops around people, around energies you're picking up on, around things that you want to share, writing it out, if you don't have anyone to share it with right now, writing it out might be a good way to get that out of your system, to help you use that energy. And then you'll have it written out for when it's the right time to share it. You'll know, you'll come across the right time, the right avenue, the right place to share it. Maybe you'll write blogs or articles and you'll put them out there, and then the people who need that will be drawn to it, will come to it, instead of you feeling like you have to try to force your wisdom or knowledge where it may not be asked for in the moment, right? Because I feel like there's this energy in you where there's this desire to share that might not have been fully placated, right? This feeling of like, I need to put this knowledge out there, but, like, no one's here to receive it, no one wants it, or I'm not getting the response I need. But it's not, but now you're learning, you're stepping into a new era where you're learning that it's not that your wisdom or knowledge is not welcome or wanted, or that people are resistant to it. It's more that it's not, you weren't always sharing it in the right situations or with the right people or at the right time, but now you're stepping into an era where you're able to do that because you're recognizing your power more. You're feeling more empowered and more present in your power. And that's allowing you to sit back, relax, and let the people come to you, And that doesn't mean that you're not actively putting yourself out there in any way, but it's not from a place of like, I have to put this out there, people have to hear this and know this. It's like you're putting it out there knowing that the people who are meant to find it will come to you, and that the moments, and you're being much more aware of moments when the time is right. It's time to share. It's time to open up. So I'm gonna get more information. I'm gonna get one more card to, okay. We have Three of Swords reversed. Okay, so this is the new, what's hatching for you. Three of Swords reversed, healing old, past pain, trauma, letting go of any patterns that have caused you pain, especially around feeling unheard, around your wisdom not being received. You are letting go of that energy, And that is also inviting people into your energy. That is also freeing up your energy to feel, it's like there's like this, you're stepping into a new era where you have more energy because it's not being drained in places where it's either not being needed or asked for, or in places where there are wounds, there's pain, right? And so in this new era with strength and the Six of Cups, like, yeah, there's a confidence, there's a relaxed strength, a quiet strength that you're embodying. And any Three of Swords, unhealed Three of Swords situations for you, energies for you, can't really stand up to that, Like, when you're in that quiet strength, you're not threatened by old pain. You're not threatened by old grief, doubt, insecurity, things that used to hurt you, especially like mental patterns and habits. It's not going to phase you anymore. And I want to get into how you can nurture this new version of you, right? Which I feel like what's hatching for you is this quiet strength, this quiet power, which is unlocking an even deeper ability for you to actually help people and pass on your wisdom and knowledge, which feels very important to you. So how can you help nurture this new phase, this new version of you? Whoa, okay. Do these cards want to fall out? No, okay. So we have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, that's sharing. Okay. So even though, like, we had that message with the magpie about, like, not sharing your wisdom, it not being necessarily needed or wanted. It's not that it's not needed or wanted at all. It is. It's more like the wisdom and the ability to judge when and where and how to share it. And so you are, and I feel like you are stepping into an era where you're gaining, there's more opportunities are cropping up for you, whether you're making them yourself or they are just popping into your life for you to actually share. And so it's like, the part of you that's always wanted to be seen and heard and valued for your wisdom is being asked to step forward and to be like, hey, you've been asking for this, you've been wanting this. Now there are people who are actually here to receive what you have to say. So it's time for you to actually step up and share it and put it out there confidently. Again, it's almost like, even if you're putting something out there and it's not immediately fully received the way you want it to be, you're also not making it mean what you used to make it mean about yourself and about what you're saying. You're putting it out there to people, also recognizing that at times when you feel like your wisdom is not being received, it might not be the right moment for someone to fully receive it, but there might be a later time when someone will remember what you said or remember what you wrote, remember what you shared, and it will come back to them right when they need it, right? And so there's this reminder that even if it's not all about just sharing something at the right moment and that will get you the right response that you want, right? Like, oh, if I shared something and someone didn't really respond to it in the way that I wanted them to, then that means that it was the wrong time and it was incorrect and I shouldn't have done that. It's not even about that, actually. Like, yes, if you're coming from a place where you're trying to control or force a situation, that energy in you is maybe not one that you want to act from or feed. But if you're just simply sharing your wisdom and you feel like it's not fully received by the person, it doesn't have to mean, oh, I'm doing something wrong, or that person doesn't think what I'm saying is valuable, I shouldn't be saying it. It's not necessarily that. It doesn't have to mean that at all. There's again, that quiet confidence and strength that you are embodying is able to share wisdom and let it be free, let it percolate in someone's mind, let it be out there for people to interpret, to misinterpret, to misunderstand, and then eventually use and value and come to recognize, right? To have their own journey with. And so you're being a lot less precious, it feels, with your wisdom, in the sense that you value it enough to know that the people who really need it will come across it, will find it. And just because someone doesn't understand it in the moment doesn't mean that it's not valuable, and also doesn't mean that they won't find it valuable ever. They just might not be in the place to receive it immediately, but that doesn't mean that it can't be a tool in their toolbox that comes about later for them to access. So you are being called upon to share but to share from a different place than you might have once done. Let's get more information. How can we nurture this quiet strength, this new phase, the Sun in reverse? That came out in another group. And the Five of Cups. Interesting. So the Sun in reverse, it's honestly a very similar message to what I got from the other group. I think it was group 2 maybe that it came out in. But this feeling of like your confidence and your energy and your joy and your happiness coming from within, being generated from within, so much so that it impacts other people even without you having to say a word. And also, it's not dependent on other people or situations outside of you. And so, like, I feel like you're stepping from a situation where your energy was a lot more dependent on other people's to you just being in your energy, and then that shifting things from the inside out, right? And so that's that Sun in reverse, that's like your internal energy, your internal glow. And it's almost like also this idea of like the new, what's hatching for you is this glow up that will be visible from the inside out. And it might not even be visible in the sense that like people might not even know what they're picking up on in you, but it's going to be evident in some way in your energy. And people are going to feel that difference in you, that strength in you. And with the Five of Cups, this is a reminder as well. This is a reminder as... Oh, okay. This is similar to what I was just saying, actually, about not getting caught up on or hung up on moments when you feel unseen or unheard or like your wisdom isn't accepted. Because, again, you actually don't know what's going on underneath the surface with individuals and people. And for you, sharing your wisdom is becoming less about, say, like an ego trip, right? It's less about like receiving the recognition that you believe you deserve, and more about putting it out there because it's valuable, because you feel it's valuable, because you know it is, you believe it is, and you're freely giving it in hopes that it will, in some way, somehow, in ways that you might not be able to predict or understand or control, help someone. And that is meaning more to you than just the recognition of it. Not that you won't receive recognition, not that you don't deserve any recognition. It's not that, but it's just more that you're not feeling like you need it as much, because the part of you that felt like you needed it so much and felt so hurt or misunderstood is healing. But that Three of Swords reversed, it's healing. And so it's not trying to fill that hole anymore. And that's where the strength is coming from. The strength that also is, strength could be about ego, but like it's a strong ego, but in a good way, you know? We need some ego in this life. It's to keep us going, but it's like your relationship with that part of you is healing, and it's helping, and it's positive, right? It's a strong ego in a good way, in a helpful way, in a way that helps you feel secure within yourself, and secure enough to then, of course, share in any way that you can, right? Because there's also the sense that perhaps you would hold back your wisdom in circumstances where it might actually have been needed or wanted or desired, out of fear of the reaction, or out of this not trusting that people will receive it or that it will actually be valuable, out of needing that validation. And that's, again, like not the case for you as much anymore. And the Five of Cups is also like you being reminded that even if there's some spilled cups in front of you, right? Like, I feel like this is a lot about people and how they receive you and respond to you. So like, if there are people who are not receiving and responding to you, you're turning your focus from those people, and not in a way where you're like, ugh, you know, those people suck. I mean, maybe at first, maybe you want to do that. Maybe you feel that way sometimes, but ultimately you're not like, ugh, these people. You're like, okay, anyway. And then you turn around and there's people waiting right behind you, like, to hear what you have to say, to have your energy, to share in your energy, to work with you, to receive your wisdom. And so it feels like your energy, again, has been focused where you feel like it's not welcome, because there's a part of your ego that's been trying to make that happen, to fill that hole, to get the people, even subconsciously. Maybe you're like, no, I'm done with those people, but your subconscious still focusing on that hurt, that pain, from past stuff that might not even reflect how people are in your life currently, but you might be dwelling on things that happened a long time ago that aren't really, I mean, they don't have to even be part of your reality, let alone the people who you're thinking about too. Some people may not even be in your life anymore and you're still thinking about them, but who knows, on their own journey in their own life, they may have changed a lot from when you used to know them, and when they didn't recognize you or weren't there for you, or whatever the case may be, whatever you feel is true about that past experience. It's like, it's not relevant anymore. So you are turning your focus and attention away from that, and you're being encouraged now, and because this is your advice in terms of how you can nurture this new version of yourself. You're being reminded to release your focus from the spilled cups, the things that haven't worked out, the times that you've spoken and haven't been heard, the people who haven't received what you were going to say, and to turn your focus to the moments when something is received, when, oh, I think that person really did appreciate what I had to say, or I felt really good sharing that. I feel like I was coming from such a genuine place, or when I was writing that out, right, that article I wrote, like, it just felt really good, it flowed, I was really satisfied with what I had to say, and leaving it at that. And so you're redirecting your attention now. That Five of Cups is telling you to redirect your attention, to remember to redirect your attention towards the moments when you feel received, when you feel satisfied, when you feel happy with how you've communicated, what you've communicated, how you've been received, or just happy to have been present enough to impart something to others, to share something with others, to have had the experience to allow you to bring that wisdom to others for whenever they're ready for it. Yeah, without making your reception from other people mean anything more than anything that it used to mean to the part of you that was hurt, the part of you that felt hurt. That's healing now. And I feel like a lot of you here are, maybe you're still, maybe this journey is still ongoing for you. I feel like more than in other groups, some of you may feel like this old version of you, or the hurt, is clinging on a little bit more than you would like, and some of you might be having trouble believing that this is actually hatching for you, this strength, this ability to feel confident and satisfied within yourself, and to be received well, and to share your wisdom and share what you want to share with the world. You might have trouble believing that is actually coming about for you, that you're actually that person, but you are, and it's already been happening. There's already evidence in your life of it, and it's only going to get stronger, and it doesn't have to happen all at once, and you don't have to feel this confident and amazing all the time. The Five of Cups is there to remind you that there might be times when you don't, but just, it will get easier and easier to divert your attention, to turn yourself back to where you're welcome, where you're wanted, and to not even notice or care if there are times when you feel like you're not. Because it's just not going to mean the same to you, because again, like, that part of you is healing, and the healing is happening. It's not something that you have to force or make happen. There are steps that you can take to help reinforce that healing, for sure. There are ways that you can aid yourself in that and consciously welcome that experience. But remember that the body, the emotions, the mind knows how to heal itself. So as long as you're allowing that, the wound will continue to close, and it will get better. And you may be someone who feels like sometimes these things take a long time for you, but because this is what's hatching for you now in your life, you have reached a tipping point, so to speak, in terms of that healing, where you will really start to feel it take place, take root, and cement in your life, and believe in it much more than you may have in the past. So, with that being said, I'm going to shuffle up some quote cards and get any closing messages for you. Group 4. Yeah, but that courage, that strength, that energy, that joy that I was picking up on in the beginning, that's all coming to you because your energy is not draining into these wounds or these other people's lives or situations that they once did. It's all returning to you now. And you're going to experience a lot more fun and passion and energy in this new phase. You may already have been experiencing that. So take that as a sign that it's already happening. And it will just continue to happen even stronger for you in this, as this continues to emerge. All right. So any closing messages for group? All right, we've got 2 cards here. And anything else from this pile? Anything else from this pile? Okay. I'm going to read this one first. We have, hospitals should be arranged in such ways to make being sick an interesting experience. One learns a great deal sometimes from being sick. From Alan Watts. Interesting. So some of you could be someone who experiences, I just heard, chronic illness, or have been through situations where you've been unwell, felt unwell, maybe you are going through an illness right now. There is a message here for those of you who relate or resonate to that experience, that there is still value in learning. It is possible to enjoy your experience even if it's not ideal or what you would prefer or choose for yourself or what other people would prefer or choose for themselves. And this also may be indicating some of the wisdom that you've gained from your journey. So even if maybe you're not in this state anymore, or maybe you still are, but you have gained a lot of wisdom from this experience, it's recognizing the wisdom that you've gained from what may have been very difficult and grueling, I heard, for some of you. And it is acknowledging that this is an experience that has brought you wisdom that you can share, that can help others, that has helped yourself in many ways, and is valuable, and is recognizing that experience. And also it's a message of, it's a reminder that circumstances, emotions, energy does not have to be perfect and wonderful and beautiful flowers and rainbows all the time in order to be valuable and interesting and provide color and shape to this existence that you may or may not accept as an existence that we are in for the intrigue, the enjoyment, the fun of it, the interest, the different and varied experiences that we can have. And there's something here about your unique experience, no matter what it has looked like, being valuable just for the inherent fact that it is completely unique to you in all of its glory and all of its woes, if you can receive that. That being said, let's get to these cards. We have this one here. Sleep might be important for you. We have, I didn't know how much I didn't know, and with an E. Similar to a message of humility that was coming through in group 3, but because you're someone who I feel like has a lot of insight and has a lot of wisdom, sometimes you might get a little caught up in that and need the reminder that you know a lot, you have a lot of wisdom, and wisdom comes to you in the moment. But you don't have to know it all. And you are allowed to meet circumstances where you don't have an answer right away, or you don't have an answer at all, to be open to the possibilities, to be open to learning, to be open to growth, to be able to recognize your ability to pull wisdom in a moment that you didn't have a moment before, right? And so you don't need to know it already. You don't need to know it all. You don't need to know anything. You don't need to always be on top of things. You don't need to be the person who always has the knowledge to share. While we focused a lot on your wisdom and your ability to share it and to help people with it, you don't always have to be that person. You can be here to learn too. You can be here to grow. You can be a teacher and guide at the same time as you are a student. And there's so much, there's a part of you, the part of you that was perhaps resistant to this message, or that doesn't fully believe that this new era is hatching for you, that you, this recognition, this strength, this confidence, this ability to be seen and heard and received. The part of you that doesn't fully believe that that is going to happen is the part of you that feels like it has to know and understand already everything. Because if that part of you feels like it doesn't know what it's like to live a different life, then it has to accept that it doesn't know everything, that it doesn't know that experience, and then it has to be open to that experience. So that part of you is being encouraged to let down any walls it may have up towards the new, towards the unknown, to admit, hey, I didn't know everything, because now I know this new experience, this new way of existing, this new way of seeing myself, seeing others, seeing my experiences. And that's where the wisdom comes in. That's where the wisdom comes in. Those moments when you don't know how you know, you just know, and you let it flow through. And we have this You Have Magic card, which says, whatever you think you can do or believe you can do, begin it. Action has magic, grace, and power in it. From The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Yes, and there was an active energy in all the red we were getting, the party energy, right? The journaling even, there's an action in it. And this Three of Pentacles is part of your advice. You are taking action, you are sharing, you are putting yourself out there. And again, it's from a place of confidence. It's recognizing times when you might feel like you're forcing things or feeling unheard, feeling like you have to push to get a message through or be heard. It's not about pushing or forcing. It's about taking the action anyway. Putting your wisdom out there to the masses in articles and videos. If people in your life directly aren't willing to hear it, then maybe those people out there are, but also you are putting it out there for the love of the game, not necessarily just because you need to be heard, but because you feel satisfaction in the speaking and in the writing of the knowledge and in the sharing of it and in the learning of that experience. And so you are taking action, and again, taking your energy back from the wounds or the taking on other people's energy and trying to fix and figure out things for everyone in your life, for people around you. It's like you're taking your energy back from that and you're using it and directing it in an active way towards the experience that you want to have and towards the wisdom that you want to share, and letting that unfold in the way that it's meant to, rather than trying to force or push situations that may not be the situation for you. And in that, like, you're using your power, you're using your magic. There's so much power in this group, and there's this new era where you are quietly confident in that power. You know it rather than, you know it, and you don't feel like you need to show it, but then because you are just knowing it and understanding it and feeling it and being it, it does show. You know what I'm saying? Right? You're not like forcing it to be shown, it's just showing. And so that's the era that you're in, where you're actually actively using your power rather than trying to make your power known. It's like you know it, you have it, and now you're using it. Very cool. Very cool, very interesting, very powerful. And yeah, in this new era, you are going to be seen and heard, but you're also moving in a much different way than you did before, and you're gonna have a lot more energy, that's for sure. Maybe you already do, because you're taking it back from places where it just never was meant to be expended, or places that were draining it, consciously or unconsciously. And that's great. So with that being said, group 4, that's about it. That's all the messages I have for you today. So I hope that you really enjoyed this reading, and please like, comment, and subscribe. That would be amazing. And also, exciting news, there's a sale. 30% off for my 30th birthday. It is actually my birthday today, on the day that I'm recording this, not the day that it's going up. So I'm doing 30% off in April and May of 2026 for all tarot readings, emailed and written, or emailed and recorded, or live one-on-one guidance sessions. So whatever you are interested in, check that out. It's a great time to buy, and I look forward to reading for you. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye!